Welcome to continuing our Antlered Wisdom series. I think we're still in experimental mode. So I think when I do these little topic things, I'm gonna do the antlers. For some reason, I feel like people take me more seriously with the antlers on. So this will be our little Antlered Wisdom series, and I'll just present different topics. It'll be a way to contain it in some sort of a format. And then when I'm done, I will drop the link and we will get this party started. The piss music is already flowing. Frank's loaded up a couple of new tunes for us. I don't know how he does it. The man is a dynamo, a powerhouse, a funky monkey. Thank you, Frank. I want to say before I start this topic, I had a conversation today. A community member approached me to talk about some things, feedback. So this is an example of I do listen. You can talk to me. Give me a chance at least. I'm ending my war with the Panelverse. That I don't take back a single thing I said about it. But someone made the point that when I frame it as the Panelverse, it does several things. It alienates people that would otherwise want to be a part of this. And it makes it seem like it's a single thing that you're either part of or not part of, instead of we're all individual channels. And even the channels in the Panelverse have their individuality, their uniqueness. They don't all have the same values. They don't all do the same behavior. And in practice, that I do treat each person as an individual. I have different relationships with each creator in the Panelverse. I don't see them all the same way. But setting it up like I did as me against the Panelverse or my channel, I don't want it associated with the Panelverse or what's coming out of there, was maybe not the best approach. Because there are many people from the Panelverse that are also on this channel, helping it to grow, contributing, putting something into it, getting something out of it. And I do want people from the Panelverse, whatever that is, to come here and also do this if they want. So I don't want you to feel like because you're part of the Panelverse, you can't be here. Or because you're part of this, you can't be in the Panelverse. I don't really pay attention to the Panelverse until it spills over here. So it's not like I go around and monitor who was in the Panelverse or not. All I ask is that if you're here for what we're doing. You're aligned with our values and missions, and you're here to contribute to that. Whatever you do when you're not here, as long as it's not damaging the channel, y'all are grown people. I don't monitor that. I don't want to monitor that. Hey, Doc. Are you at the... Did the wedding happen? Are you there already? Or is it over? So I lay down my sword. I will have criticisms, issues with specific people, specific creators, but not some vague abstraction called the Panelverse that everybody gets painted with, even if they're not really doing anything, and even if they're cool people. So I take that back. That I let all of that down. The doors are back open. Doc. You're not even Panelverse. You're Dramaverse. Yeah. Nah, Doc. You good here. You come and go as you please. You have a little rocket chair on the porch like everybody else. All right. So, these modes things. I'm adapting this from Northrop Frye. He uses them in his study of literature, but I think they can be repurposed for some of the stuff we're doing here. And it's really just 5 kind of states of mind or ways of seeing things that we use. We use all of these throughout the day, all at like sometimes even simultaneously. So it's not like they're not discrete states that we move into and out of. They're kind of all active at the same time, and we shift between them throughout the day. So just being aware of them and what to expect from us as a person when we're in each layer might help us to start sorting out the interactions here and help us to connect on a deeper level. And by that I mean to maximize the connection, to connect more deeply, like strengthen it, but also to see what the connection can generate, see what can come out of the connection. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because I think it's important, but it's going to end with some discrete steps we can take. Remember this morning, I want to recap. We learned we looked at those 5 red flags for new people coming into the community. We're going to start establishing some standards where we vet people, and it's going to be a community thing. We can all look out for this stuff. Hang on, let me find it. All right, here we are. The like rushing in too quick. So if people show up here and they're, I don't want to discourage passion, but taking that little pause to fully vet somebody before we all just jump in together. Drama gravity, where people come here and the center of gravity starts shifting from personal growth and what we're talking about to drama that has nothing to do with this channel, off screen drama. That's another thing to watch out for. And testing behavior, when I set guidelines for the channel, people that come here and they subtly test and push and try to see what they can get away, that's a flag to start watching out for when we're filtering. Validation hunger, it's people who constantly need the spotlight. They come here because it's an audience that's willing to listen and give them some time and attention, and they start maximizing it completely for themselves as much as possible. That's something to watch out for. And deflection, where they avoid responsibility for their own actions or for looking at something that people are trying to get them to look at, and it's always being a victim of other people or some external circumstance. This is that victim mentality of it's not my fault, I don't have agency, I didn't make a choice. So those are 5 things we're going to kind of keep an eye on when new people come in, if we notice any of them. And we have things we can replace them with that are healthier, upgrades. So when we notice this, like if we're jumping in too quick, we can pause, slow down, and have like a vetting ceremony or a vetting ritual where we all put in our information and try to collectively determine how far to go with the person and how quickly. The drama gravity is either redirecting it back onto this topic and leaving it on other channels, or can we learn from it? Can we apply some of these tools to it and quickly? Not make the whole episode about it, but is there something in the moment? Can we summarize it and learn from it and then let it go and move on to something else? The the validation hunger, the one I suggested for that was if people constantly need the spotlight and the attention, there's something, there's a core there. Get to what they really need. What do you really need? I notice you're needing a lot of time, a lot of spotlight, a lot of attention. What's going on deep inside of you that you're really here to get all of that attention for? Is it something we can address, or is it something you're going to have to get met elsewhere? And then the deflection, I honestly don't know what to do about this one because I can only give people information. If they don't want to look at it, I can't force them to. So we'll have to come back to this one. But anyway, what we're doing is we're looking for some of these behaviors, and we're going to try to replace them with the healthier behaviors I described when we see them. So hopefully that will keep people that show up with these behaviors in the community if they can switch them to a different version. But if not, it gives us a way to filter out the people that I guess are not here to build, or that we don't want to build with, or not here to build what I'm trying to build. So this mode thing is another example to do that. It's things to be aware of that we can start looking for on the stream and learning from. Oh yeah, Frank, I forgot to tell you. This is a nerd topic thing, the kind you hate. So you can come back in like half an hour, or you can sit there in the chat and troll me. I'm not looking at comments anyway, and tell people how boring it is. But for some people, it might not be. All right, let's get into these modes. We all think in all of these ways. So the first one is the mythic layer. When we think mythically, and we've talked about that many times on here. When you're thinking mythically, you're thinking as a god. You have unlimited power, and your will can be satisfied instantly. And anything that thwarts or blocks or gets in the way of your will creates fury, because you have the entitlement of a god. When we're in the mythical mode, we see ourselves as part of something bigger. Symbols, gods, forces, everything feels charged with meaning, like we're living out some cosmic pattern. Where we see this on here, particularly on YouTube, is this sense of spiritual warfare, the forces of good and evil. Or there may be two sides. There may be like globalists that are trying to bring us under their control, and a resistance side that's fighting. But there's this grand cosmic pattern of meaning outside of just our individual lives. When we're seeing the world through that lens, we're in the mythic mode. And when we see ourselves in the mythic mode, we see ourselves as the highest form of what we can be, ourselves with the ultimate power to bring our vision into the world. This is the most powerful. When we talk about self-empowerment, this is maximum self-empowerment. It's also like one of the easiest to get in the shadow side with, because you have ego, narcissism, grandiosity. How do you own your authentic potential and power and actualize it, and not cross over into like glorifying that power to meet ego needs? And so keep that in mind, because we're going to look deeper at these anyway. One layer down is the romantic mode. You're not quite a god, but you're a fantasy character. You're a king. You're a hero. You're a prince. Your girlfriend is a princess. She's your queen. We're the main character in our own story. The world is enchanted. It's full of ideals, quests, heartbreaks, adventures. People show up in this world, and when you're in the romantic mode, as allies, rivals, enemies, muses, etc. They play these fantasy characters. And we see that on here when we talk about the hero's journey. We're all a hero in our personal quest. Building the kingdom. When we talk in those very kind of grand, idealized, romantic terms, and notice how those fantasy elements start to show up. We start to get dragons and castles and medieval imagery and kind of romanticized imagery from the past, from the Middle Ages, perhaps from Greco-Roman ages or Christian times. The second the next one he calls the high mimetic mode. I wish I could think of another term for it, but we'll use it for now. This is the societal layer, the ethical or civic layer. I come from this mode a lot. This is the layer where you are trying to help build a society with other people. Here we see ourselves, our community, as responsible adults, leaders, citizenship, people with duty, integrity. This is the leadership layer. The people that are here to build, lead, create something lasting, pass something on to the next generation. When you're seeing yourself in those terms, you're seeing yourself in the high mimetic mode, and we could maybe just call that the leadership mode. Um, the shadow side, or if we romanticize this a little bit, this is where we get the elites. These are the elites. These are the movers and shakers. These are the people running things, making things happen, making a difference. These are the people with the power, the influence. So if you're aspiring to be at that level, or you see yourself as a leader or playing any kind of that role, you're thinking in the high mimetic mode, and you're seeing other people through that lens and categorizing them in that mode. And we'll learn more about what that looks like in each mode. The low mimetic mode is going to be very easy because that is the mode most of us live our ordinary lives in anyway. Everybody's more or less on the same level. We're just people. This is the democratic layer. We could call this the democratic mode. We're all equals. We're all having the same experience together. We help each other. We support each other. We relate because we're having similar experiences. We're just people. Flawed, funny, figuring out as we go. We all have the dual natures, the shadow, the light. We fuck up. We're capable of good. That's this layer. It's kind of like just a very real human, this is what humans are kind of layer. The focus is on the everyday relationships, emotions, survival, humor, real talk. It's grounded and relatable. And then the fifth layer is what is called the ironic mode. And some of you may be familiar with the concept or the term ironic detachment. And this is the mode where you're kind of like looking at everything from the outside or from a distance or from the inside out. This is where you start to see the patterns. You start to notice things that you can only notice when you step outside of all the other layers. It's the reflective layer. It's where you start to see the bigger picture, the stories, the roles, the contradictions. They all start to connect. You notice the absurdity of it all and maybe even laugh at it. It's also the trickster layer. It's detached but aware. And remember, we move through these constantly. Sometimes we're mythic. We're thinking of ourselves in these grand terms. Sometimes we're looking at something very realistically, almost technically, to understand it and figure out how to use it for our purposes or change it to do what we want. And that would be looking from that ironic layer, that detached layer. All right, give me 1 second. So in the mythic layer, we are part of something larger, the universal forces. It's the cosmic layer, the spiritual layer. For those that are religious, it's the religious layer. The romantic layer is the hero's journey. We are the hero of our own quest. And we see the world through very idealized terms. We want the best world we can bring about ourselves. We want our king, our princess, our kingdom. We want to fight the dragon, defeat evil, that kind of stuff. There's villains, there's heroes. The leadership mode, we've talked about that. We want to build society with other people that have the dedication, commitment, share the same values, have the power to make it happen. The leadership layer is the people that are making things happen, and that's the layer I'm trying to vet for here with this inner circle. Then we have the democratic layer, the human layer, which is also what we do very well here. We're just people. We come together. The entire YouTube is kind of this human layer, which equalizes all of us. And then we have that reflective layer where we are detached and we look at it from the outside. And that's the layer where we start to see through our own mask, our own myths. We start to see our own shadows. We start to become aware of ourselves, kind of like from the outside looking in on us. The world can appear fragmented, absurd, constructed. This is that hell layer or that matrix layer. And in Fry's world, in his work, when you get to that detached layer and you're looking at it and you're breaking everything down into its moving parts, if you look just beyond that, because the human brain can't for long work with a lot of random data, you can see the outlines of a myth, a new myth forming beneath all the data because our brains organize everything into a human form, which means a mythic form. And so when you think you're looking at everything objectively and detached, that mythic mode is still operating there just under the surface. And beyond all of that objective data, you can still see the outlines of some kind of personal myth that you're reading into it. Okay, he gives specific things we can do and be aware of in each mode. So I want to go through those and then I'll drop the link. This is how you know you're in each mode. The sign that you're thinking mythically is you're speaking or thinking in big symbols and patterns. This feels like fate. The universe brought us together. This is meant to be. This is God at work. Remember the other day I was feeling like the power of Christ. I was feeling this inspiration and I said maybe Christ is just us connecting and the creativity that comes. That was me in the mythic mode. You feel deeply connected to something larger, destiny, nature, the collective unconscious, the collective psyche, and your language gets really elevated and ritualistic, meaning, purpose, transformation. That's that very high, lofty layer of awareness and conception. The behavioral tone can become intense, charged. You can start to see others as symbols or players in an epic pattern. And the imagination becomes dreamlike and prophetic. Remember we did the William Blake thing in the creative imagination and the power of God? You're envisioning everything that could be possible if you had the unlimited power that myth, like God, divinity gives you. And so this is the point where you're looking out across the future and you're seeing your full vision and the possibility of it being actualized and the headiness that comes from that. The steps we can do in this thing is to start to consciously mythologize. If we're in the mythic mode, we can start to do it consciously and start to define and own our personal myth for ourselves. We can start to like identify archetypes and think in archetypes. And that's also the point of the sacred. When you're in that mode, that's the mode where the most power, the most potential for power is. So you could treat it as something very special and sacred when it happens and start to use those moments to draw on that power for inspiration and use it to fuel what you're doing at those other layers. So this is kind of the layer where you go to recharge and connect with your higher sense of being. And the danger of it is shifting over into that ego. And it's a very fine line. In fact, the panelverse conversation from earlier, someone brought up, where do you draw the line between what's panelverse and what's not? What's good enough to work on this channel and what's not? And there is no line. It's judged on a case-by-case basis. And I think part of that line is ego. Like, how much has this person shifted over into, how much have they gotten high on their own supply versus how much are they capable of drawing on that power and inspiration, bringing it to this channel where everybody can benefit from it. And it inspires and charges everybody instead of just feeding their ego. So I think that's one way to find that line. That's a great topic now that I think about it, finding the line. I think that'll be my next topic. Okay, the romantic mode. This is how you know you're in romantic mode. And we were in it a few weeks ago because we were talking about kingdoms and knights and heroes and the AI videos were having all these fantasy imagery in it. You feel inspired. You're in love. You're creative. You're on a mission. Life feels like a quest. You're driven by your highest ideals, passion, adventure. This is I'm still in this mode. This is what's driving the channel right now. You frame challenges as personal trials or tests of courage. They're battles with the dragon. They're the hero on his journey. They're a quest. The behavioral tone is charismatic, dramatic, emotionally expressive, like it is right now, I guess. You see others as allies, rivals, beloved. It kind of divides into like good and evil. The good kingdom and the threats to the good kingdom become the evil. And there's a tendency toward emotional highs and lows. This all sounds very familiar. We have seen like this. I think this layer is a very important layer to pay attention to in this environment. So here are the actions you can take from the romantic mode is you can channel that passion into creation. That's what we've been doing. Art, projects, connections, building relationships, building some good relationships that are going to take you where you're trying to get to. Creativity, AI videos, music, games, the little like characters and dramatic things we've been acting out and playing with. All of that is creativity in action. Now this is a good one. When you're in the romantic mode, notice when you're romanticizing your suffering or when you're chasing validation. That's that victim mentality. You can also romanticize your negative situation. How awful life is, how unfair it is to you. Oh, the weeping, the damsel in distress. That's also a romantic archetype. So I guess the shadow side of romanticizing is be careful of romanticizing your powerlessness too, because there's something in us that longs to be free of the responsibility that comes with power, and we can romanticize that longing. It can be very seductive. And that's the one I'm constantly calling out here is people that romanticize suffering. And in order to romanticize suffering, you have to downplay agency and leadership. And that takes us to the next layer, that leadership layer, which is the one I'm trying to work from, the like primarily, my dominant layer. Also, when you're in the romantic layer, you can ask, what ideal are you serving now? What ideal? The knights fight for these higher ideals. What higher ideal value am I fighting for right now? Or what story am I telling myself? Again, that personal myth. Because I think the stories we tell ourselves without even realizing we're telling them is probably the most powerful factor that determines our subjective quality of being, of well-being, than probably anything else. And when you can become aware of those stories and start telling different stories, you'd be amazed at the change that can happen in you. The pitfall of this layer is this is the drama layer. It is the self-dramatization. It mistakes emotion for depth, or story, narrative for truth. Just because this is the story of what happened in the panelverse or on YouTube, or this is the story that you heard, this is the lore, that doesn't mean that's actually the truth. And we've kind of seen this recently with some people on here where they're starting to address the stories and get at the truth behind them. And I think we're seeing some healing when we do that. And maybe that's part of what healing is getting beyond the stories to the truth. And I've talked about my friend Art before, who did, we collaborate a little bit on this channel. If you Google Art Kroll, he's on there. And he has this technique of, he's a storyteller. He's a professional storyteller. And he works with stories and helping people understand their stories. And he has this technique that he uses with storytelling of what came up for you. So when you hear a story, it's not to react to the story in response with another story, but it's to just talk about what that story brought up for you. And anything is valid. Whatever it brought up for you is fine. So if someone comes to you with their story, you don't have to get in fight mode. You can just sit with the story and just say, okay, well, here's what that brings up for me. And then you can tell the associations in your mind that that story connected with. And it's a different way of dialoguing about stories than this is my version. Well, this is my version. This is where I think you're wrong. Well, this is where I think you're wrong. Instead of arguing about reality, you're disclosing yourself and getting to know and connecting in the process. So maybe we can revisit some of those videos, or I might be able to get him on and talk about it some more. All right. The leadership mode. This is the mode of ethical awareness. This is the daddy mode that draws those boundaries that everybody is resisting so much. And I'm going to try a different approach. This is a learning process for me too. It was not the best approach. I could have handled it differently. I didn't know at the time. I learned. I know now. I'm going to do it differently now. I've been looking at ways to do that, and I want to do it collaboratively. So if I need it, it's not drawing a boundary, it's guarding the gate. It's protecting that flame. So if I need to protect the flame, work with me and let's figure how can we do that in a way that works for everybody else and respects everybody's autonomy in the process. So that's where we're going with that one. When you're in the leadership mode, you're focused on responsibility, order, structure, integrity, quality. You want to create the best you can offer. And that requires standards. That requires boundaries. That requires gatekeeping. It just, like, the humans have never figured out another way to do it without that yet. But the product is worth it. If you are dedicated, if you believe in the end product, you're willing to do those things. The price is worth it. You think in terms of right or wrong, leadership, principle, and yes, I am trying to lay down some principles here that we can use to evaluate each other by and kind of hold each other to a certain standard. Not rigidly, but just to have as a something to shoot for, as a direction to move in, so that we know when we're not moving in that direction. And also, you feel accountable to others. You feel responsible. You want your word to mean something. You want to gain trust with people. You want to show commitment to the people that are reflecting what's important to you. And so you feel this sense of like civic duty or civic reciprocity with other people that are doing, because you need that to build these kinds of communities or societies. You need other people that are able to think out of this same mode and bring these same qualities and this same set of values. And so when you find them, it's this is the level of honor, nobility, brotherhood. We talked about brotherhood this morning. I think this is the brotherhood level. In fact, I'm going to start calling it that. When we've reached this level, when we're working out of this level, we are working as a brother, and it's a level that's directed toward other brothers, to seeing people as brothers, and the ones, it's a tier. So the ones that make your brother tier, that have proven themselves as worthy brothers, this is the layer that all of you operate on together. And I think it's a very vital layer for where I want to go with this channel. The behaviors on this label, very stable, deliberate, steadfast. That's our new word that keeps coming up. Structured, formatted. I'm trying to bring some format and structure to this. The relationship patterns are ones of mentorship, education, support, peer support, perhaps, duty. How may I serve you? That's a form of leadership, a service, fairness. And there's a respect for, it says hierarchy. I'm not necessarily going to say hierarchy because we don't have that here. Shared order. There's a respect for the values that we're trying to grow here. There's a respect for our attempts to come in and structure it so that it can be lasting. I think just respect in general. Respect for what, and you could carry this to any channel on YouTube. Respect for what that creator is trying to do with their channel. And as a practice, and maybe this is me coming from this level, I don't go on channels that I don't respect the creator. I only go to channels that I have some kind of respect for what they're doing. I would feel weird being on a channel of somebody I don't respect, because what am I there for? To cause trouble, to look down on them, to judge them? There's nothing constructive I would bring to a channel of somebody I don't respect. So there's no reason for me to go over there if I'm if my purposes are noble. And that's another reason it's hard for me to find channels, is there's very few channels that I've grown to respect. And that's me. I have high standards. Like, y'all don't have to have the standards I do. I've always been a picky person, a picky eater. I'm picky about the books I read, the music I listen. I have certain standards for things, and they're probably higher than a lot of people's. And I don't apologize for them, but I also don't expect everybody to operate with my standards. And that might be where some of that rigidity is coming from too, because I don't know how to compromise on my standards, and I don't expect anybody else to compromise on theirs. I wouldn't ask that of somebody. I think our standards can just be all over the place at different levels, and sometimes that can lead to tension, incompatibilities. Um, the actions from this level: keeping commitments, showing up, keeping boundaries, helping to guard the fire, protect the flame. Reflect on how you use power. Think about your own power, and I know this is self-empowerment, but think about, as you self-empower, how that power, the effect it might have on other people. And I am not a big thing about babysitting other people and having to be aware of how you affect other people. If you're affecting somebody else, that's their problem, not yours. They can communicate it to you, they can take care of it, they can collaborate with you on a solution. But you're not necessarily obligated to be aware of how you affect every single person around you. Like, no human could do that task. But I think just being aware of your power in relation to the power levels of other people, like power differentials. And I'm really bad at that as a Sigma, as an autist, and as a Cajun, because we don't, Cajun society is not hierarchical. Everybody's pretty much on the same level. So I didn't grow up with a lot of power differentials. So it's hard for me to notice my own power and where somebody else's power is, and the challenges that might come from that. So I think some of the issues I run into with people is from not recognizing that power differential. And questions like in topics about integrity. What does integrity look like? What does respect look like? Nobility, leadership, that type of stuff. The pitfall, and we've already seen this here, and I've fallen into this pitfall, is rigidity. It's being too rigid, too firm, too unbending, and mistaking control or moral superiority of being in the right, and I'm guilty of this, for strength. And yes, I am in the I still think I'm in the right. But being in the right is not necessarily, acting on being in the right is not necessarily the right thing to do every time. I think if you act from strength, if you act from a sense of guardianship or protection, you're going to get better results than if you're acting from, I know I'm right about this. I'm the expert here. I know more about this. I trust myself more. Even if that's true, there's a better place to act from when you're taking action on that than that place. So again, we kind of get into that's that ego again. The top three levels are really the ego levels, because they're the levels that are above the ordinary person. And the level of the ordinary person is the next layer, the human level, or the democratic level. We could call it the community level. When you're in this level, you are grounded in the day-to-day, the moment, what's going on around you, the needs and the feelings of the people that are on the panel, in the chat, at the time. making the relationships, the connections with the people in the community, money, jobs, family, kids, being a dad, that's all part of this layer. The two worlds we talked about, the real world we live in and the panelverse dreaming world, that's all from this layer. You see yourself as one person among equals. Everybody has flaws, everybody has limitations, everybody has strengths and potential. This is that layer when we talked about Christ entering the human condition, where we just come to understand that we can't really judge each other because we're all in this. We all have the same beast. We're fighting the same demons. You know, how can I judge a person for doing something that I've done worse myself or have the potential to do even worse than they do? It's that layer, like being at that level of awareness. And I think this is a level of awareness where grace comes from, and patience, tolerance, maybe some understanding, and connection. You can connect over being shared experiences connect us. We oxytocin bond, we vasopressin bond, and all sharing the same cross, the same burden. That connects us in a way. Having the same awful human nature, the shitty reality of what it means to be humans and how we treat each other and get treated, and the things we suffer from each other, that connects us. We're all part of that shit. That's this layer. So you can recognize it because the when people are acting from this layer, they're authentic, they're conversational, they're down to earth, they feel real, genuine, they're interested in getting to know other people, learning about other people. They're very sharing of themselves, but not in a egocentric way, but in a just human to human. This is how it is with me. Tell me how it is with you. We can learn from each other. We can start to see from each other's eyes and perspective. There's a lot of healing that can happen on this layer because of that connectedness. It's a very horizontal layer. It's very leveling. It's focused on emotion, problem solving, connection. There's a lot of humor, down to earthness. You can laugh at yourself. I think we see a lot of this here. That third place vibe that I go for here, that I'm happy with. I'm proud of my ability to bring that. I think that's coming from this layer, where there's not a specific topic. We're just hanging out, being people. And the things we can do from this layer is health, exercise, fortify our bodies, our homes, jobs. We can help each other get like practical goals where we want to go, relationships. You can talk about your needs honestly, without shame. Like, look, this is me. I'm Jeff. I'm a human, and here's what I need right now. I don't know why I need it. I don't have to explain it. I'm just communicating this is what my need is right now for whatever reason. I'm just sharing it with you. You don't even have to meet it. I just want to tell you what it is from one human to another. And this is the listening layer. Remember we did the 7 levels of listening? This is the layer where you can practice those listening layers because there's that one-to-one connection and emotional presence. And that's something I need to get better at. In fact, I'm going to ask the AI. Because that's the coming from my head and not from here thing. What are some ways to get better at emotional presence? Okay. And the danger of this one is you can get too lost in the ordinary world. This is the kind of the opposite of the mythic layer. And in that changeling game, we talked about this as one of the themes. It's where you lose the dream. You lose the power to dream. You lose the power to think big. You lose the inspiration to become creative and so, to step into those higher modes. Because you just get so caught up in life as it is that becomes your life. You just accept it and you don't aspire to anything beyond it. So you can kind of get trapped in this layer Not in a bad way, but in a way that just might keep you from going further if that's what you want to do. Some people are happy at this layer and they can make a whole happy life at it, and I admire those people. And then the final layer is that ironic layer, it's the reflective layer, the observational layer. This is the layer where you start to notice shit. This is the noticing layer. You start to see contradictions, disruptions in the pattern, little things that don't add up, absurdities. You see them in yourself, other people, you see them on streams, you see them in the chat, you see them in society. You start to feel detached, alienated, skeptical, sometimes entertained perhaps. This is the kind of the outsider view, which is perfect for this channel. Or sometimes you hear the Martian anthropologist, where you feel like you're an anthropologist from Mars that was sent to Earth to study humans. That's this layer. You can step outside of the story and you can see the story like as a third party observer or an audience. You can see it as a construct, as something that's just created. It's not reality, it's a story that you created as a human and other people created with you. The tone can be varied. It can be playful, humorous, it can be analytical. This is that Virgo layer that Moose made the video about, where I have this analysis power, but then I have the dark raging beast inside of me, and when my analysis notices these disruptions and it signals a threat, that beast comes out. And that video captured me so perfectly. I don't know how the AI did it or Moose did it or whatever, but that is what this layer is. This is the layer that exposes pretense, hypocrisy, illusion. This is the layer that notices when things don't match. And I'm good at this layer. I'm good to the point where it gets on people's nerves and I think it drives people away. But I also think it's part of what people come here for as well. And you use irony as truth-telling or defense. I do that a lot too. Okay, these are the actions that you can do out of this layer. You can use humor to reveal truth without being overly cynical about it. You can analyze and name. That's what kind of what we do here. You can name the story. You could say, this is me playing the part of the fool. This is me moving into the dark father energy and acting out of that role, where you're outside of the story and you're describing it kind of detached and dispassionately. And I like this one a lot. I think this is actually the important one. You balance that analysis with compassion, and this is where I need to get better, is bringing in that emotion piece, where you say, I see through this, I see all of this, I see you acting out this pattern, I see this archetype being activated, but I still care. I'm still emotionally invested. Even though I see all of this, the caring is still there. The emotion is still there. The connection and the love is still there. And that's what I need to make sure I maintain even when I'm doing my analysis. Because sometimes when I do my analysis, I can see things that make me want to pull back or question and disconnect. So the key is to do the analysis, but keep the connection in the process. And I think I'd get a more real analysis if I do that. This is very helpful. And the shadow of this thing or the pitfall is nihilism or disconnection. You see, this is very much a danger for me. And again, I think it's another form of ego, where you see through everything and nothing matters anymore. Nothing has meaning. I am a nihilist, and I have been pretty much since losing Mike. I don't believe in any ultimate meaning to any of this. It's the meaning that I can give it each moment that is the source of my meaning in life. But there's nothing larger. The largest that it goes with me is community and connection, like other people, and whatever we form together is my highest layer of meaning. And it's that is that is night and day. That is the difference between life and death in life. All right, so these are just quick little practical tips that we can keep in mind as we're working these. Is just like a self check-in. What mode am I thinking from currently? What mode am I operating in? Am I acting in leadership mode? Am I just in hang out with ordinary people mode? Am I inspired with the power of a God to change the world and rewrite history? Where am I coming from internally? Which layer? And what layer is somebody else in right now? And when we interact, are we interacting from two different layers? If we both get on the same layer, will the interaction go more smoothly? Will the friction be reduced? And real quick, in the mythic mode, these are the questions to ask. If you're like journaling or reflecting or want to do a stream about them, what archetype is at play? What's the mythical plot underneath everything right now? The romantic mode, what ideal or passion is driving me? What am I fighting for? What noble ideal is driving me? Am I defending? That's the knight. The leadership mode, what principle was involved, or what responsibility, what leadership responsibility is involved? In the human mode, the connection mode, what human need or emotion was at stake? And a lot of our like minor traumas, like the social trauma that we encounter day to day just being around other people, is from unmet needs or expectations. We had a perfectly normal human need or expectation, and we showed up around other humans and it didn't get met or it got disappointed, and now we're distressed. And so, what do I need right now when I'm in this mode? Just from other human. I'm a human. What do I need from other humans? And the ironic mode is, what do I know? What can I notice? What am I seeing? This is a chance to look at the pattern and see, does it have integrity? Does it have consistency? Are there disconnects and disruptions and disjunctions in it? All right, I think that's probably good enough for now. I'm going to drop the link and let's get us a panel going. All right, Frank, it's over. The torment is over. You can come back. At least I got it on stream. It's captured. If I need to clip it later, if other people want to go back and feed the transcript into AI, whatever, I just wanted to get it down. So thank you for your support. It's always so valuable. It really keeps me going. All right, the link is pinned. Hey, Angeline, it's good to see you. Let's see what's going on with comments. I tell you what, Frank, how about I play a song? Dang, he is spitting fire and acid tonight. Oh, good. Thank you. See, I'm getting better. Even the troll is coming. When you get high praise from a troll who never has anything good to say, they need to make a Frank toy, like a pull string Frank toy or a little box, like the little keychains and you hit the button and it has sayings. We need a Frank version of that. For when life is just a little too happy, when things are going just a little too well, and you need some misanthropy and grumpiness in your life, he's here to help. Which one do you want me to play? I know you wouldn't recognize this because I don't even know if you come from any of those modes, but this is actually growth if you've been paying attention. It's the kind of growth I was looking to grow. It's growing the plants I was putting in the soil instead of the weeds that was over here for a while. Lovely weeds. I enjoyed a lot of them. You know, you don't have to watch, Frank. See, this when I talked about raw feedback the other day and just give it to me, don't spare my feelings, Frank gets it. This is criticism I could use. Oh, it can. Yeah, it does. Hang on. There you go. Audience catharsis. All right. Hey, Angeline, I'm in the fire. Thank you, Ricardo. I mean, there are people that talk worse, I believe. I don't know if you'll know this. I've talked about it before, but I was in speech therapy when I was younger. I was diagnosed with something called a articulation disorder. My brother had it too. We were both in speech. We were very hard to understand as kids. We had to learn to talk right. And plus, I'm Cajun. So when you're Cajun and they come to you and say, lady, your child have an articulation disorder, you know you are in for it. And that's what happened to me. So I've never talked right. This is me talking at my best. This is with all of the skill and intervention. All right, Frank, well, it's over now. We can watch your. Well, actually, yes, Angeline's right. I am about to begin the torment because I'm about to play one of Frank's videos. I apologize, but we do get a lot of masochists around here, including myself. Um, an example of what? I'm about to give you an example of Frank's talent. In case y'all been sleeping on this monkey. All right. Reggae Rise, is that the one? Brown Cow Boogie 2? Let's go with Reggae Rise. I mean, there'll be others. There'll be. I'm gonna pee more than once. I don't, cause I don't remember it. But my brother he talked like a werewolf. Like to this day, he's hard to understand. He's hey, you need to get I'll go through. And that Tom Segura joke about the Cajuns, where he makes fun of how Cajuns talk, that's real. That is we and so we're not the most articulate culture to begin with, and to have an articulation disorder as a Cajun is like a double strike right out of the gate. So I'm a hero, y'all. Look at what all I overcame to be here talking with y'all. All right, let's listen to Frank. This is Reggae Rise, and I'm gonna disappear for a sec and come back. You are the sun, I am the flame. You are. Frank, isn't that copyrighted? Is this your lyrics? It sounded very familiar. I like it. Tell me it's not copyrighted so I can play it. That it's not a cover. Come on, monkey. All right, I'll risk it. Here. Sorry about that, folks. I had a copyright panic. You are the sun, I am the flame. You are the blood, I am the same. We are the love that rises again.
They are the snake that bites on your veins. We are not chained to the wheel. You are the tear, I have no fear. You are so strange, I feel the same. Sorcerous mind, we ride again. We are not chained to the wheel, to the wheel. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eye. You got the weights upon your back and you can't fly. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eye. 'Cause you're up against the world and still you rise. And still you rise. You are alive. You are alive and high in my dreams. You are the stars that mystify me. And you are the wolf that frightens the thief. And you are the voice that they disbelieve. Why you are, we are not chained to the wheel. And you are the spark that sets us all free. We are not chained to the wheel, to the wheel. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eyes. You got the wings upon your back and you can't fly. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eyes. 'Cause you're up against the world and still you rise. And still you rise. Whoa, baby. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eyes. You got the wings upon your back and you can't fly. It's the way that you feel, it's the truth in your eyes. 'Cause you're up against the world and still you rise. And still you rise. Still you rise. Still you rise.
Wow, Frank. No, not lost. Can you expand on that for us? Or you probably did, and I just didn't pay attention to you like I usually do. I love it. I'm loving AI. It's creating a whole new world. That's. Do y'all know the? Y'all may not. I wonder if I can read it on stream. Is it copyrighted? Jorge Borges has a story called Tlon, Ukbar, and Orbis Tertius. And it's a really wild story about this fictional world that starts to get created and eventually takes over the real world. Like the whole culture of the real world becomes this fictional world, and society starts to model itself on it. And that's kind of what it reminds me. It has me thinking of AI because we're creating now. We can create our own cultural universes, whatever we want them to be. This is the mythic layer. We have the power of a god with AI, or we are getting there. We can create worlds to live in with cultures and people however we want them. Music, movies, video games. We're not even going to need people to make them for us anymore. And so with that kind of power, when they're out there competing with actual video games and movies that people have made and you can't even tell the difference, it's like equalizing everything, and all of that is going to form this larger AI fused generated cultural layer. So what we think of now as culture, like this canon of movies and books that you study in school and the video games that you have to play in each genre, there's just going to be an ocean of music and books and games, and that's infinitely created and generated. And some of it's going to be human and some of it's going to be computer, but it's just all going to be those things. And we're going to have to adjust to like a, I guess for the first time in history, a non-human generated culture. because most culture comes from humans creating it. It emerges from human interaction, intersubjectivity. But now we have this machine human intersubjectivity, which is like the human filtered through machine and reflected back. But it's not completely 100% human generated. So there's a new element in the generation of culture. And I think that's going to, not in my generation. God, please, I hope I'm in the cemetery by then. They'll probably have AI cemeteries, AI dead people. But your grandkids, like our world we're living in, it may not even be recognizable or intelligible to them. God, they had to like leave their house and go to this building to watch a story on the screen that a bunch of humans in California, like thousands of humans and millions of dollars, had to come together to. I could just press a button on my computer, sitting here on my couch, and get the same thing. Why did that's so weird that y'all had to put all and leave your house to experience a movie, and then y'all all watching the same movie? Like me and all my friends can create infinite numbers of movies and they're all different and we all watch them and talk about them together. I can't believe y'all just watched one movie. That kind of stuff. Like that's all gonna it's the whole foundations or bedrock of society could potentially change because as we change how we see ourselves and conceive ourselves, what we want to do with ourselves is going to change. I did drop the link, didn't I? I think it's the op. You think it's monoculture? I would say just on this channel alone, with Moose's videos, with Frank's music, we're already seeing so much diversity. Frank's creating almost every genre of music you can imagine. He's trying to hit them all. He even did Bad Cajun. Christmas Carol, Frank. There's your next one. And then maybe Gregorian chant. Brown cow, brown chicken. So I see it as the opposite of. Do you feel? Do you sense that a monoculture is forming here, or would you say it's a lot of diver? I mean, all of that's subjective anyway. But to me, I'm just seeing so much diversity. Like AI is taking existing things and it's pushing them or expanding them in new and creative ways. And we're just at the beginning of the process, so there's an infinite variety of that to come. We'll probably get exhausted of it at some point, actually, and say, oh, another AI creation, who cares? But then we do that with human creations too, after a while. Oh, another rap song, who cares? Another country song. Thank God we got some good rock songs coming out lately, thanks to Frank. Maybe we'll get the Gen X Jeff song on Spotify. Is that like the pay-per-view or like Geraldo's Vault? I remember when we had just TV, like channel, like the networks. Every now and then they'd run the special or a live special. Or sometimes in a rare event, all the stations would run the same live event. But they always made a big deal about it, like tonight, a special event, and they'd have the little special logo that would spin. Special. So we were all watching the same thing at the same time, a part of it together. At the bottom, at the core, the bedrock, we know that humans are social creatures, or a lot of us, most of us, at least partly. And we know we have the power to come together in an infinite variety of ways And we know that amazing things happen when humans do that. Also horrible things. And so I don't think we've even begun to reach the limit of human possibility. But let's check in with this guest and see what their thoughts on it are. Welcome, Antlered.
Hi.
Hi, we're glad you're here, and you look beautiful with that background. You're so radiant.
Oh,
You're perfect in the forest.
thanks. I used
Wow, you really
to
class
do.
up my stream. Thank you for coming here. What's up?
Just trying to sign into the chat, see if it'll let me.
Oh,
But yeah. Oh well. Yay. So yeah, that was awesome what you were saying and reading earlier.
you
And
weren't bored and falling asleep,
nah,
and
that's
your
right
butt
up my
wasn't getting
alley.
numb?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, good. It's good to know that that was just a lone voice crying out in the wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah. So how have
Oh,
you been doing?
a scheduled show and you talk about it with others the next day. You mean like the day after and those kind of movies where everybody was talking about it at school the next day? What's up with
I
you?
was not allowed to watch a lot of TV,
You weren't?
and whenever I'd go to school, everyone would be like talking about The Simpsons and stuff, and I would be like, I don't know what anyone's talking
Oh yeah.
about.
And that gets worse as you get older.
Oh, great.
What's going on in your life?
Yeah, I know. I feel out of the loop now. I feel out of the loop, especially with my kids.
You feel what?
Like I used to listen, like my kids used to keep me in the loop with all the music and all the good stuff, and then they started wearing headphones all the time. I'm like, I never
Oh,
like
so now you're
hear
not
any of
tuned
the music.
into.
I know, I feel like I'm so out of the loop, but I almost don't mind because I must be getting old because I'll hear them playing music out loud once in a while now, and I'll be like, what the heck? This is not feeling like awesome music anymore to me.
Do
It's
you
not
think it's
bad
AI
music.
music?
It's just, I don't know. My one daughter is really into like the newer musicals and stuff that are coming out, and
Like
she just
what?
listens to them on repeat a lot, and I think I don't know. I miss the classics, like The Sound of Music and things like. Have you ever
What
been
are
to
the new
musicals?
musicals?
Oh, I couldn't even name them. But there's a lot of
Oh,
them out now. There's a lot of them out now. Like they're becoming a thing again, but like more modern type
like
musicals.
Hamilton type stuff? I know that was
Yeah,
popular for a while. Or Glee.
yeah. And they're pretty cool, but I
Oh.
just don't know if it's the thing I want to listen to in my house all the time.
I never did. I hated musicals growing up. I was even in some musicals that I hated them.
Me too.
It's not normal for people to be singing and dancing about life like that. It creeps me out.
Well, I don't know. Some people would argue against that, I guess. I grew up with living in a musical in my head. Like everything was a musical.
Oh, did you make songs about things?
I did. I don't know if it was like a coping mechanism or what, but like any situation, I could imagine it turning into a musical.
Have you tried making AI music yet? You might be good at it.
No,
Oh.
I like to sing, and I think it's cool that I don't know. Maybe I got to figure something out because it could provide the music to go with my singing somehow if I could figure that out. But
Do you write lyrics?
yeah, I write a lot of songs. I
It
love to
could totally
sing,
do
but
that.
I don't have the instrumental skills, which I
That
mean, I wish I did, but maybe one day. I really
Well, now you
want
don't
to.
need them. That was my issue. I could write the lyrics, but I didn't know how to put it to music. And I fed the lyrics into the AI, and it came up with this wonderful. I love it. I sing it in my head all the time. I can't believe that that was the music for the song I wrote. And so you could write the lyrics, and then plug them in and have them set it to music, but just not put vocals on the lyrics. And then you could overlay your own vocals.
That's cool. I figured out like a weird way to overlay my vocals uh before using like an editing app, but it was really, really hard. So I'm sure AI could do that easier
Yeah,
than what I had to
it
do.
can even you could probably even give it some of your voice, and it might even be able to simulate your vocals. Although that takes the fun out of singing.
Yeah, I'd rather sing and then sing whatever, overlay it myself. It's
AI,
weird because
it's just really opening a lot of creative doors for people, like ordinary people that maybe didn't even know they had that creativity in them until they started playing with AI. They're like, oh wow, I can do all of this stuff.
I find it's weird. I'm actually better at singing background. Like I'm better at picking up the harmony to things than anything else. That's probably one of my biggest skills. And I don't mind. I like singing lead as well, but I love singing backup, like adding to other people's music. That's fun.
Do you have a SoundCloud or a website or anything?
No,
Oh.
no, not there. Something I'll work on in the
One of
future.
my dreams at some point is to have like an open mic night where people can come and sing or share their poetry or show off their artwork or whatever. Like having a where artists can come and that's part of community where artists can come and share their art because that creates culture, which creates community. You
A
going to Party
friend,
Town tonight? Uh-oh, I'm worried. Uh, Sounds fun.
yeah, a friend, she invited me to like a little open mic thing, and it was kind of like that. My kids have done, and the kids and I have gone to some community open mic things, and it was fun.
Oh, like in person at
Yeah, in
coffee shops or
person.
something. Yeah,
And do you know what a yurt is?
yeah. Oh my God, I want one so bad. I could live in a
I
yurt.
love yurt. You're right. You're right. A good yurt. Yeah.
That's all I
Okay.
would need is a. I'd be perfect. I could go live out in the wilderness in my yurt and drive into town when I need to.
Yeah. A yurt is so cool. So this lady has a yurt out on her little acreage, and lots of people go there for use it for different events and stuff. And she did an open mic thing for a while, and it was so much fun.
At the
Like it was
yurt?
so fun. Yeah, it was
That would be.
so
Oh my God,
fun.
mate. You're inspiring me because maybe if this community I want to do, we could find a way to get like just start setting up yurts around the country that people can come and do activities in. Speaking
Did
of, I bet this guy knows what a yurt is. He's probably lived in one. Oh, are you out now? Oh, I didn't know you were out right now.
Motherfuckers are
This is a
driving here.
very
It's streaming these boys. I
surreal
told them like,
party.
yeah.
Does he know he's on YouTube? You on YouTube, dude?
Where are we getting at?
This is
I mean, it is full
hilarious.
now. God damn it. It's clubbing
Okay,
time here, boy.
here. This is
How you
fun
doing?
and
I'm
cool and
good.
everything, but I'm gonna backstage it just for a bit until it gets to African. When you get somewhere, let me know so we can see you, because I don't. The conversation is gonna be very unpredictable. I don't want to risk it, and I want to
so
let Angeline finish what she was talking about.
about the yurt stuff?
Oh
Okay,
yeah, like
you'd probably like okay, so I take my kids once a year to something called Remember the Village, and it's about learning how to be in community. And you kind of camp together, and it's so amazing. Like you camp together, everybody brings their own skills to share with the community. So there was like basket weaving, there was learning about communication skills and emotional intelligence. There was someone who played music, so we got to like dance. But the big thing was we had a day of like we had community kitchens, so we set up a big community camp kitchen, so everybody kind of cooked in the same area. And we did a big dinner together, so everybody took on different parts, like setting up and decorating and cooking and all that kind of stuff. Like it's about learning how to be authentic in community and bring what you have to it. And it's like, honestly, it feels like home. Like it feels like family. And they're such healthy people because they understand the importance of that, right? And so it's my favorite thing to do every year.
Oh my God, I want to create the outliers version of that. That's that. I'm gonna look at their model. I don't know if this is it. This is what I found currently for the U.S., but I posted this link. It's a village network, national villages. That's
Like,
exactly. I love camping for that reason. It's the community. It's like people, random people from different walks of life coming together and having to work together and cooperate and collaborate to get the environment set up and the community created for the
yes.
weekend. And I love that activity.
Yeah. And then we set up like a big main covered tent area that everybody works on together. So that's like where the community meets and we do all of the things. And we play games that help connect everybody and we do different circles. And there's this one thing called a drum cradle. And this one's really interesting. If you're an energy person, you like it, but half the people lay on the ground in a circle, like your body's pointing out like a sun. So if you could picture that, the heads are inside and the legs are going out, and you're kind of in a circle, right? Laying on the ground. And then people pick all these different instruments that this guy has um, to do, like, it's kind of like being bathed in sounds, right? But they're nice sounds. Like you can drum gently, you can do like different instruments and so half of the people go around with these instruments and they just kind of use their senses or intuition to like who they should go to and do the sounds with and whatnot. And there's some people that will like oh, there was three groups, and then the third group um would be touch or energy. So maybe they'll like massage your head or your feet or whatever they felt, right? I know that sounds weird, but it's like energy healing. And then you switch places and you do it 3 times so that everybody gets a chance to do each part. But it was kind of a way of like loving and having a chance for everybody to feel loved and receive healing and just whatever gifts you have in that area, you get to share them with people. And that, like, you could be amazed at how many people cry in that, especially the men.
Oh,
Which
it's a
was,
co-ed thing. Everybody
yeah,
shows up. I don't know
yeah.
why that made me cringe just now hearing all of that.
but it was really cool. Like, have you ever heard of a sound bath?
Is that what they do? The bowls on your ear?
I
Like
mean,
they have like you lay down and they have the little
no.
bowl and the little wand that they
I
rub
mean,
on
they
it.
could use bowls, but um, yeah, some people use bowls but the really good ones use a mix of like ancient instruments and stuff. And it's really cool to hear all the different kinds of instruments and
Like
sounds
ASMR.
and like feel their vibrations and stuff. And then some people learn stuff like Reiki or things like that, and they'll use those things on people and just whatever it felt like. I know one year too they had pieces of paper, so if you just felt like you wanted to give an encouraging word to somebody or something, you could write it down and then leave it next to them and things like that. But it's just a really cool way to learn how to be there and just receive, right? Or to give to others. So,
How many people are involved, like at any given event?
oh
Hundreds?
gosh. No, it's actually fairly small. Well, not quite 100. I don't know, maybe around 60 or something like that. And it's a lot of families, right? So that's what makes it bigger too, because it's like moms, dads, uncles, and grandmas,
Oh
and
man,
kids, and so all these different
that's what
families.
we
So,
need. I love families, like bringing families together.
yeah, and the moms really appreciate it because all these little kids are just running around wild, and so it's nice to have family uh to back the moms up too, right? Because they work so hard.
I do. I've decided to. The antlers are going to represent wisdom, and so when I do my topics, I'm gonna wear the antlers because for some reason, people take me more seriously with the antlers on. I have a gravitas and a cachet with the antlers, and it's gonna be called Antlered Wisdom, and that's my new series for topics. So that's the antlers, and I want to get some satyr horns at some point too. But
You
yeah.
mentioned earlier something about Virgo, so now I'm wondering, did you find
Oh,
out if you're a Virgo
a
or
Virgo
something?
rising. Did you see Moose's video?
No, I didn't.
He did. He's working on a series. He took my birth chart and he's making AI music videos, a 5-part series of my whole birth chart. And the first one was about the rising sign, Virgo rising, and it's amazing. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it next time I do an intermission. That'll be our piss music.
Okay, do you know the rest of your stuff? Like what's your sun and your moon?
Yeah, I've had my chart analyzed several times on here, and we were even doing AI astrology at some point. And Moose did a series. He just did a Taurus moon one too, because my moon is in Taurus. That's just beautiful. I think it's some of his best work.
And what's your sun?
Sun is Scorpio. We're in Scorpio right now. Like
That's
I have a
cool.
lot of my Scorpio is like in my second or third house, and like half my planets are in Scorpio. They're all loaded on that one section of the chart. So I'm like a triple, double Scorpio. I have a lot of Scorpio energy.
I have two, but I'm not Scorpio, but I have a lot of houses, a lot of things in the eighth house, which is Scorpio. So I think that's why I get along well with Scorpios.
What's your sign?
Which one?
Oh, the sun.
I'm
The
Cancer
sun and the
rising.
rising.
I'm Cancer rising, and that kind of changes my, which means I'm ruled by my moon, which is Aquarius. And then my sun is very different because I'm an Aries, but because I'm a Cancer rising, it really changes my Aries to be a lot more docile and maybe shy or like
Oh, it
more
tames it.
like less kind, yeah, kind, they're all very different. I my all my signs are very different and they can definitely be conflicting but also maybe balance each other out a bit.
That's good though. I think astrology should be like differentiated for each person instead of just like resolving people into these stock types. I think it's
Yeah.
better when your chart is like I'm Cancer rising and I'm Aries, and it modifies it in this very particular way for me.
Yeah.
Instead of
Oh
just
yeah.
making it a formula you apply
Oh
to
yeah, like
everybody's chart equally.
I really know a lot about astrology now. Like I've done some really big deep dives into it and learning it, but for a long time I just threw it off because everyone would be like, "Oh, you're an Aries," and they describe an Aries and I'd be like, "Okay, if anything, I need some of those traits because I don't have any of them. Like I need a little anger and I need a little bit of speaking up in
I
my
think
life. I
everybody.
like these Aries traits. I'm just like that doesn't sound like me at all." So so I kind
But
of like
also, that's like everybody born in those that 28, 30 day time span, and they're not all gonna have the same person. Like nobody born like it. All people born in March are not all gonna have the same personality traits. So it's just the sun side. It's just a very broad classification.
and actually more accurately, I think the bigger sign is honestly your rising sign, not your sun sign. I
That's the
think
one supposedly that affects more directly your personality.
It's how you show up in the world
Yeah,
and
you're
how
gonna
you
come
present
across like
yourself
I
to
come
others.
across
Yeah.
more as Virgo. I'm very intellectual. I'm detached. That's part of the criticisms that I'm trying to work on is to be more heart connected and not so much head. That's a Virgo thing.
Yeah.
And um, you said you do come across as Cancer.
Yeah. I do. And it's in a way it's been a little bit frustrating because I tend to go to automatic caregiver mode with everybody, but then sometimes that can get exhausting, like with people around me,
Automatic
right?
what?
So, caregiving mode, like the
Oh yeah.
nurturing, the nurture, the wanting to take care, especially when it comes to like health and well-being and I do a lot and then I'm trying to work on not making that my autopilot when I start to um
Well, but
integrate
is
people.
it a bad thing? Maybe that's part of who
It's
you
not a
are and
bad
that's a
thing.
strength.
It's not a bad thing, but if it's expected of me or it's not in balance, then it becomes exhausting and
Oh, like if you're not in
right?
control, yeah, like
It
it
becomes
get to the point
expected.
where you can decide if you want to act on it or not instead of it
And
controlling you.
and and it becomes my autopilot even when it's draining me. So I have to learn my own boundaries, right?
How do
Um
you stop it when it's is the act of drawing a boundary is it as simple as that? That's what stops it.
it's for me it's getting brave. Um because I have this autopilot guilt if I don't help someone. So I it's like, oh, if I just autopilot want to fix everything, like help people with stuff, especially when
Because you
it comes
care.
to health and stuff, right? But I can't overdo it. So for me it's about getting brave because it's so against my core to not help somebody if it's starting to hurt me, right? So does that make sense? Like
Is it something like tough love, like knowing when not to step in and help? Because sometimes when you step in and help, you actually hurt because you deprive them of the opportunity to learn to face their own challenges. And so
yeah,
a
that's
lot of
true
people
too.
think they're helping when they step in and caretake, but they're actually holding the person back from growth.
That's true too. Um,
It keeps them
you really
childlike and
want them
infantilized. It
to,
keeps them in the mother.
yeah, you really do want them to step up and kind of start to take ownership of taking care of themselves too and like nurturing themselves. You can teach them, like I have a lot of knowledge and skills, so I can often help people a lot, get them out of pain, get them out of anxiety. Like I'm really good physically with health, but also emotionally, right? So I can help people with a lot of things. Um, but really, it really is so nice to my heart when I see them taking that stuff and really wanting to grab onto it for themselves, like learn themselves and grab those tools for themselves and doing getting better for themselves, right? So it's like it's hard to get out of a rut when you're in a rut and I'm glad I can be there. But like my youngest daughter, I love her so much because like she'll tell me all the time like a new thing she learned about the vagus nerve or what she can do before bed to help her sleep or like all this kind of stuff and that's like someone being proactive, right? Or like I would make her um like we do like calm tea before bedtime or we do like
Oh,
different things and then she'd be like I would offer something and she kind of owned it. She's like, "Oh no, this is what I do now, mom. And I learned this and I make this thing for me and this is my little thing." And I'm like, "Hey, this is the perfect beautiful example of someone me helping someone but then them starting to take ownership of their own learning and stuff like that, right?"
yeah.
So that's what I love. But then you get some people who are just like, "Oh, you take care of me." And then it kind of just, "Oh,
What
when I
creates a
struggle, you
dependency?
take care
It's
of me," right? Instead of yeah,
yeah.
taking care of themselves and
A lot of what can look like health is actually dependency.
yeah. And nobody's perfect. And some people really do need help. Like, I mean, I have scoliosis and I mean, I can't be independent of my chiropractor at this point or help with massage or things I can't do myself, right? But but even that though, finding the tools and the people to do that. For me, when I say it's hard, it's because my autopilot is I can't stand seeing someone struggle, so I really want to help them. And so I don't have to be mean or tough or whatever. I just have to stop myself from stepping in and like fight all that yuck feeling in my stomach from being like, okay, I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to, and they're going to be okay because I have to take care of myself right now because I'm drained or I'm exhausted or I know I'm going to regret it if I push myself too far or whatever. So for me, it's just learning to be okay with that move for myself. Does that make sense?
Like knowing when to step in and when not to.
Yeah, even
And
if it's
does
not
the
about them, but
feeling,
about me, right?
like, does it, if you step back to take care of yourself, does that feeling eventually go away? That uncomfortable of feeling guilty about not helping them?
Um, it does, yeah. And it's learning for me too, right? That way I can see where they step up, where they don't.
Because this is a perfect example of somebody making a choice. Like there's a healthy, there's one choice and then there's a healthier choice, and you're choosing the healthier choice for yourself. But it comes with it's a more difficult choice to make because then you have to sit with the feelings
Mm-hmm.
of not being able to help the person. And so sometimes the easier choice is to just go ahead and help the person because then those
And
feelings won't be there. But to make the better choice, there's sometimes difficulty we have to live with.
and I have a hard time receiving. So learning to receive too, instead of just being the one give, give, give. Because I've gotten so comfortable with that. I feel bad if it's being given to me. So like learning to be the receiver as well. It's just
What helps with that? Because I have some of that too. It's very hard for me to take money or praise when I feel like I haven't earned it.
yeah, or even help or care or like
Hmm.
if
Especially help.
yeah, right? And I don't know, you just have to like
I don't.
allow it, I guess.
It feels uncomfortable and awkward in general, but then also there's the sense that you're burdening the other person. Like I don't want to
Yeah,
have to unnecessarily burden somebody else if I don't need to, and I can usually do it on my own. Like they don't have to put themselves out like that, and if I can avoid them having to do that, I feel like I'm helping them. Like
I
if they can keep their money, they don't have to give it to me if there's no reason to give it to me. I haven't done anything for it.
I think if your autopilot is to give and to help people, it feels like you're n- like unhelping people. I know that's not really a word, but it's
It
like
can't
you're
be.
unhelping people if they're helping you. So it's like if someone wants to help you, you're like, if your autopilot is to help them, then you're like, oh, well, I don't want you exhausted and I don't want you getting worn or I don't want you to suffer for giving or blah, blah. So it feels harder to receive because you're used to helping people and instead of receiving, but you feel like when you're receiving that you're draining somebody else of their energy. And so it makes it harder to receive. But one thing I learned as I practiced, because it, exposure therapy, right? And just
Yeah, like for
exposing your nervous
trauma, where
system.
you
So
gradually
just, yeah. So sometimes,
desensitize yourself to the trigger.
yeah. So just being in the discomfort of it until you learn it's okay to receive. But also, one thing I learned in the practice is that it energizes some people to give. Like it
Well, let's
actually
practice. Y'all send me some money, and we'll see if y'all get energized, and I'll try to
exposure
practice
therapy.
receiving it. Yes, we'll do exposure therapy with super chats.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
This is a growth channel. We'll do some real growth. Well, but with it's also a form of arrogance and ego because it's me trying to control too. Is no, don't give me. I'll let you know when you can give me the money. I'll let you know when I'm ready to receive. Just because you want to give me the money doesn't mean I'm going to let you give me the money, even if it's something that's going to help you. I'm going to determine all that. I'm going to be in control of that. I'm not going
Hmm.
to let you give me do what you want, which is give me the money, and it might help you, but my thing, my issues, my shit is going to take precedence. So it's still ego to me, not receiving.
Yeah. And maybe that's because we have to like change that thought in our head that it doesn't always deplete someone. Sometimes it gives them life. It makes them feel good. It
I
energizes
love
them.
giving. I love the feeling of giving and supporting when I can do it. I love that feeling. And
And
no
so
matter
you
how
have
many
to
times other
switch
people
that.
tell me they like that feeling too, let them do it to me. I'm still gonna be like, no. Like I can get the feeling by giving to you, but I don't want you to have the feeling from giving to me because I don't like the feeling of receiving.
Okay,
It's
so
really it's
maybe,
really petty and childish now that I think about it.
well, and maybe you got to dig a little deeper, like spend some time and just dig deeper what there, because I usually there is something there that you don't like about giving too. You got to find out when am I feeling not good about giving or exhausted or frustrated or whatever, like, and dig there, because often it's maybe we're fearing that in somebody else, so it doesn't make it as easy to receive,
I love to
possibly.
get. I even love paying taxes. I even love giving to the government. Like here, Uncle Sam, I'm so proud and happy to be able to give you this. I mean, I'm a giver. What can I say?
Yeah, that's my little journey right now. I am on a self-healing journey right now where I'm trying to fix my relationship with myself, because you know, often the world will reflect to us what we do to ourselves. So like say if you're with someone, um like say you're like you get abandoned a lot or talked harshly to or expected harshly from or whatever, right? And you're just like, wow, this is so mean or whatever, right? Like this is so hard. But the reason it happens often is because if we examine it, we do that to ourselves. Like, how much do we abandon ourselves for other people? Like, how much do we talk
Fuck.
harshly to
Oh,
ourselves? Like,
fuck.
right? So
I
when we go in and we look at our relationship with ourselves, we're like, oh, the people outside of us are literally reflecting our relationship with ourselves, and we're not even paying attention, right?
that was brilliant. I did a stream about that. When you go against yourself, your own wisdom or your own instinct, when you betray
Oh, I think
um
you froze. Oh,
am
you're
I
back.
back? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
When you betray yourself, how do you repair that? How do you heal a rupture with your own self? When you go against your own value, your own judgment, your own wisdom, and then you just can't stop punishing yourself for it.
You have to get conscious of yourself and your autopilots. Like, yeah, I just like everything I do, I have to be like, okay, am I abandoning myself here? Am I doing this out of fear or anxiousness or whatever? Like, and what is the root fear? Like, for me, I have like one of my strong root fears is fear of loss. And so it's funny, fear of loss, fear of abandonment, right? So it's funny, to avoid that fear, I will abandon myself to avoid being abandoned, which usually doesn't work,
Oh
right?
wow.
And so if you know that's the pattern, then you have to figure out, like, it's hard because your fear is like you have to do all this stuff to not be abandoned, right? or whatever your fear is, rejection, not
Or
worth it to
betrayal. Like,
somebody,
I will
or
betray
like
somebody
betrayal.
before they
Yeah,
betray
right.
me. If I sense that they're going to betray me, I'm going to cut them out first if I
There
sense
you
it coming.
go. So that's another one, right?
Even if
That
they
like
haven't done anything yet, I'm going to cut them out because I know it's coming. And I'm going to get
yeah.
there. I'm going to make the first move.
So we sabotage a lot, right? Subconsciously, we sabotage relationships and stuff. So I just, when I realized that every relationship I have will be a reflection of my relationship with me, that changes everything because you set up entirely different relationships when it starts with, I'm going to respect me, or I'm going to love me, or I'm going to have boundaries to protect me, or I'm going to not abandon myself. That's a big one for me. I'm not going to abandon myself because I would often abandon myself for all these other things. But, or, if you feel like, someone doesn't believe in you, right? And you're like all upset and why aren't they supporting or whatever, then you're like, do you believe in you? Are you supporting you? Are you investing in you? Like, because if you're not, then nobody's going to reflect that either, right? Because you don't actually believe that. So you're trying to get it from somebody else because you don't really believe it. So you need to fix that relationship with yourself and believe it for yourself. And then other people can actually come in and show up like that as well, right?
And you mentioned self respect. And I think that's what it comes down to. I generally have a healthy respect for myself, but then there are times when I lose that. When when I go against myself and I take actions that I know that my best self would not be taking, and then I get disappointed and I lose respect for part of myself. I still have respect for all the other stuff, but I lose respect for that part of myself. And then I don't know how to get the respect back.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there's a way to like undo the action ritually, or do some kind of little closure or something. There's got to be something that can reset the respect so that you're not holding that over yourself the rest of your life for that one thing you did.
I mean, there can be rituals and whatever, but really it's rewiring the autopilot, right? It's like I mean, if you have an autopilot of being hard on yourself, like you need to get on that. Like when you recognize a thought that is being harsh on you, you need to like see that thought and change it to something else. Like you have so much grace for people, Jeff. Like you have so much grace and acceptance and you love understanding people and you love helping, and it's like that's great. And why does it feel like, if this is a problem for you, why does it feel wrong to do that for myself then? Why can't I have that same grace and that same
I don't know.
understanding and that same, right? So really, you just gotta, and I think you're probably passionate about it because you probably had that struggle in your life, right? Having that for yourself from other people or whatever it was. So it became a big thing, an important thing for other people to have that, right? But now you need to figure out that relationship with yourself too. How do I learn to have that for myself? Like,
Yeah, that why can't I give to myself what I give to other people?
exactly. And that's just the self work. That's becoming aware of the negative thoughts, aware of the autopilots, and consciously changing them. Consciously being aware when you have a thought that's hard on you, and consciously choosing a different thought.
Yeah.
And
Like that's
doing
the
that,
story. That's the because the thoughts they're wrapped up in some kind of story if you look closely enough, and it's getting a different story going about yourself or the event or the other person or whatever.
and
Because we're
that part of
capable
you,
of telling ourselves an infinite number of stories. That's our creativity.
and giving that part of you grace. Like, I swear one of the most powerful things you can do is
I'm such a
laugh
hard
at
ass.
yourself. Like if you have a negative, if you say something negative about yourself and you catch it, you can immediately act like it's, and it's a program, right? So, but you can make it a character. to help you, whether it's an inner child or just a part of you or whatever. And you can just be like laugh at it and be like, there you go again, it's not true, or I love you despite what you think of me, or just like love that part of you, right? And just talk to it, even like, you might think that, but I'm also pretty great. And try to think of those competing thoughts. Like, we need a lot more positive thoughts than we do negative thoughts to reinforce the positive.
Because
You've
it
probably
takes
learned
more
that.
positive thoughts
It
to
does.
overcome one negative thought than it does the positive thoughts. Because
So
the
so
one negative thought has more power than a bunch of positive thoughts.
so you can make it a daily practice to write down any reoccurring negative thought you're aware of. And then what you have to do is you
A
can
daily
literally do this
practice,
a
like a
daily.
minutely practice.
So yeah, but if you do this daily, if you write down some of those things you struggle with, and then you have to look for evidence, at least 12 things that point to it not being true or accurate. You have
The
to think of,
story, like that, your
yeah,
story is actually
and
true.
yeah, so like let's say if I'm like, um oh, I'm always overwhelmed and can't finish anything. Like, say that's a negative thought, right? Or I never finish anything or whatever. Like, it's a negative thought. So then I would have to sit down and write down evidence, at least 12 things that show that that is not true. Look at this thing I finished. Look at this thing I'm working on. Look at I did da. Because you actually have to put it in your brain till your brain logs it as, oh, this isn't true. This is a program, right? Or even with other people, you can do it with other people too, even though it's most important to do it with yourself. But if you have a negative thought about someone, like they don't like me, right? Because they did one thing and you're just like, oh, they don't like me. So you can, like, okay, hold on, put on the brakes. What is some evidence that they could like me, right? Oh, they sent this message. They got back to me at this time. They could just be busy. But you're trying to find the evidence to rebuttal the autopilot until the autopilot loses momentum, right?
So it's becoming aware of the autopilot, and then consciously intervening and changing that into something else when those
Yeah.
moment when they're when that's what's driving your action,
Mm-hmm.
which is what autopilot does. It's how we act when we're not consciously thinking about how we're acting or trying to act in a particular way.
Yep.
And it could change. Like I don't think we have just one autopilot. I think throughout the day we just autopilot in different ways about different things, and it shifts around.
I love this example, and you might have even heard me say it before because I have, but it's like your brain has these paths that you've been going down or repeating on over and over and over again. So the paths are really worn in, like they're deep, cleared out paths that are just easy to go down. So if you're trying to make a new path, you're like going through the jungle. There's no path, there's no way through, there's like nothing, right? So you have to, so you're going to split. It's so easy to go this way. That's so easy than to start carving a new path. But the problem is,
Chop it through that
yeah.
jungle. Yes,
But
I
the
love
thing
that
is,
stuff
the
though.
more and more you go through the new path and not on this one, what's going to happen to this one? It's going
It's
to
gonna grow
grow
over.
over and fill in and become the one that's not as easy to go down. And then this one will become the new one. So it is the work. Like, you just
And it's just
take
it's over
time.
time. It's just a little bit of gentle work, gradually, consistently, and then over time you'll start to see the path shift.
And not beat yourself up, right? Like,
Yeah.
how about it?
I do. That's what I do. I have that tyrant in me, the bully. I'm a mean. I can be a mean, hateful, bossy, aggressive person. And if I don't have a
Um,
human to turn that on to, I'm gonna turn on myself. But there has to be there's always a target for it somewhere. And even if that target's me as the default.
Virgos are a little bit high expectation and a
Yes.
little
I,
bit detailed, a little bit perfectionist. But the thing
yes.
is, when you turn that on you, that's really hard, right?
Yes.
Like you're really nice, Virgo, okay? A lot of Virgos are pretty harsh on people.
I
And
don't think I'm that nice. I
um
can't believe how nice people find me. I think I am harsh on people.
Virgos can be really critical.
Hmm.
And but the
That's
thing
a
is,
strength. That's a good thing. We notice things that other people are not paying attention to.
but the thing is whatever they're turning on other people, they're usually turning 10 times harder on themselves. Not telling anybody, but that is the truth. That's the truth of anybody, right? Anybody who turns anything on anybody, anytime anyone's doing anything harsh to you, probably 10 times worse on their
I
on
said that the
themselves,
other day that
right?
what you're seeing on this stream is the tip of the iceberg of what I direct at my own self inside. I'm way worse at me than anything you've seen me do to anybody else on here.
But I can also say the opposite then, because you have so much kindness, so much grace, so much understanding, so much knowledge, and you get to turn that on yourself too, right? You just have to become conscious
Stop.
of that.
You're, this is too much healing at once. You gotta pace this shit. We even talked about that at the beginning.
No, no.
No, this is good. I know. This is really getting it out in the light.
Yeah.
Not laws. Give us your birth date. That's how you know your sun sign. Your rising sign, you have to plug it into a astrological website that'll generate a chart for you. You have to have your birth location because they go off of the longitude and latitude, your birth time, whatever's on your birth certificate, and your date.
The best one I've found is cafe astrology.
Was it called
You,
Cafe Astrology?
cafe astrology. You can put in your birth chart. You can go to log your birth chart information, and it brings up so much good details, like for your chart. Do you know your Mercury? Because your Mercury
I,
is
I,
how you communicate.
I do. My problem is I can't ever find my chart. It's on this computer somewhere.
Oh,
And every time I go to look for it, I have to dig and dig and dig to find it. I should keep it in a very handy place. Sometimes it's easier for me to just generate a new chart than to look for the chart.
it's
In fact,
fun.
let me try Cafe Astrology. I don't even know if I've used theirs. Cafe
My Mercury
Astrology.
is Taurus, and so that might be why we can get into some good talks because you have Taurus moon,
Oh yeah, I
right?
have used Cafe Astrology. I do know that the only planet above the horizon is the full moon conjunct with retrograde Saturn at the zenith. All of my other planets are below the horizon. Every single one of them. So they're all in the first six houses.
Okay.
Let's see, where's the chart? Har- Free reports and calculations. Oh, it looks like I did one.
Sometimes when you log back in, it'll still be there.
Yeah, it is. I don't see the actual chart. It has the chart of all of the aspects, but it doesn't have the visual. That's what I want.
I prefer the list anyways, then it's more straightforward. Because it should just show you
Well, let's see. My
what it
Mercury
is.
is in Sagittarius,
Okay.
and is it the third house? I think I have a lot in the third house. Wait, no. I don't know how to read this.
Do you know
How do I
what
see the
your
houses? Oh, Mercury in third. Yeah. I have 5 planets in the third house
wow.
and two in the second house. I'm very like front loaded. So my Mercury is one of those five, and it is in the third house in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, my third house is like Scorpio, Sagittarius covers it. So all 5 of those planets is in one of those two signs.
Well, the third house is Gemini, so that's funny because it's going to be all about talking, like
Talking
communicate. It's
and the intellect
communicating
and the eighth
and
house,
learning,
which is where my
learning.
moon is. That's the only planet over the horizon. It's a full moon. Is broadcasting and public speaking, which is
Yeah,
this.
Mercury or like Mercury or Gemini is the third house, which is a lot about learning, a lot about communicating, um, all that stuff. So that makes sense why you're very passionate about learning and learning in respect to connection and communicating and all that stuff. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. um,
I
your do you know your north node?
It might be on this report. Let's see. Because when I was doing astrology, I didn't work with the nodes, and so that's kind of a new thing for me. Let me see if I can find them. North, the north node is in the sixth house, and it is in Aquarius.
Ooh, Aquarius. So that's your end goal point. That's the point you want to get to. Um, so if you're so you're coming out of Capricorn. So Capricorn is like that means were you at some point like feeling like you were really good at the kind of organizing, maybe businessy focus, like work focus, like very calculated, very organized. I don't know, like
I mean, I am very organized. That's one of my skill sets. Like at work and stuff, I have a very organized mind. I can organize a lot of chaos. I can, if a task is chaotic, I can break it down very quickly into organized steps and figure out in the moment how to do it in a way that gets it done.
yeah. So you're moving into
Organized.
Aquarius. And so
I'm
you're
good at I like classify. I used to work in a library. I can classify things. I can put everything in categories and put them in their proper place and all that stuff.
so often we're coming out of what we came really good at and we're moving or learning to move into something new, and that's your goal, and that would be Aquarius. So that's very interesting. So you're on the exact right path because Aquarius is very much about being very accepting of everybody, including like wanting to have everybody feel included. Um, or
Don't though.
but you do like you want like the neurodivergent community to be understood. Like you want to hold a place for everybody to be themselves, to be comfortable. Like um this
Well,
you're very
but when you
passionate
say
about
everybody, I
community.
just keep thinking of all these gatekeeping mechanisms we're putting in place to filter. So it's definitely not
it,
everybody.
it doesn't mean without boundaries, but it just
Okay,
means
all
you
right.
really want a place where people feel safe, inclusion, right? Like
Um,
if people are like bullied
so
or you're
safe.
weird or like something's wrong with you or whatever,
But
it just
sometimes something is wrong with them, and I'm usually the one telling them how weird they are.
but
What a
but
paradox.
this is what you're moving to. This is what you're moving towards. Also,
I
Aquarius
want
is
to move toward healing and growth and a space
yeah,
for that. Yeah.
and Aquarius is also really good with electronics and stuff like that. Um, and you're kind of opening up a little bit. I mean, you're diving into astrology charts and understanding different things like that that are a less um that are stretching more, I guess, to the energy realm of stuff or the different areas of things, right? So that's just really interesting that that's where you're stretching to. And then
There's a
yeah,
stretch.
north node is interesting. If you look up some stuff on your north node, it'll tell you your south node is where you're coming from, and the north node is where you're moving into. And so that an interesting thing. Also help you kind of know different things to pay attention to help you move in that direction, right?
That's what I'm learning from the AI is what to pay attention to, and it's really helping. Do you have an impression on what sign not laws might be?
Impression? I have no idea. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know them that well.
he's Canadian, if that helps. He's one of yours.
I'm pretty sure
um,
your sign isn't based on location.
I could see Gemini. I could see maybe even Sagittarius, and the other one that was coming to me was hang on, let me get Libra for some reason.
Hmm. I don't
Do
know.
you
They're
know
gonna
your
have to
sign,
look
not
it up.
laws? I mean, you could always just type your birthday into Google and ask it which your sign is.
Yep. You can
Gemini,
do
because
that.
you very dual natured. I never know which not lost. Are you sun sign is Virgo. I could see that. You're kind of a nerd. Virgo is your nerd. They're the intellectual, the cerebral ones. Um, in fact, speaking of Virgo, I need to do a little intermission anyway. We could watch Moose's video. This is the one he did on my Virgo rising, and it's just gorgeous. And it has the like Scorpio energy underneath that that Virgo rising nature mixed with the Scorpio core, and I think it's very accurate. So I'll be right back.
Degrees, the line is drawn. The mask is set to greet the dawn. Begin the sequence. Map the edges, sort the stream. Awaken logic in a dream. Each component clean and bright, set against the coming night. This earthly plane, this measured grid, where every imperfection's hid. But this quiet, steady hand is built to manage and command a sleeping power, core and deep. The secrets that the surface keep, every detail on the list, tames the darkness, the abyss. Pluto on the self resides, controls the turning of the tides. A pressure building from within, a constant need to shed my skin. This need for order, sharp and vast, is how I make the vessel last. And Lilith's ghost, a wild design, a glitch that lives between the lines. A primal code I must refine, make the dual message shine. Because this quiet, steady hand is built to manage and command a sleeping power, core and deep. The secrets that the surface keep, every detail on the list, tames the darkness, the abyss. Tames the darkness, the abyss. The stage is clean, the plan is set, but the pressure's rising from the deep.
at that. That's Jesus with the antlers. That is gorgeous. Wow. So anyway, that is astrology from Moose. Virgo rising. Do you know you're rising, not loss? Because that's more about your personality. I would say Cancer or Gemini. Maybe Capricorn, because sometimes you could be real bullheaded. That's what you'll have to ask Moose. That's what I was thinking. Is it Jesus that's infecting Jeff there, or is Jeff infecting Jesus? I don't know. Wouldn't that be something if I try to find Christ and he ends up finding me instead? It becomes Jeff. And I changed Christianity and world religion permanently for eternity. See, that's that mythic layer. And probably that ego. That line I was talking about earlier. I think we found it. Jeff, stop. Mm-mm. I was going for manly Jesus. I mean, I'm flattered, I gotta say. I think there are better prototypes out there. But, welcome back.
Hey. That was a cool video. So he did that with AI?
Yes.
What?
He did it, but he's doing a whole series. They're amazing, and he does all kind of work. He's even making a 24-hour channel that he can show the AI work on it. Other people can add their work to it, and it'll run for 24 hours a day, and people can hang out in the chat all day long and like connect and watch the videos together and build community.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what does he use exactly? Like, I know I've kind of looked into it a little. I know there's some programs you can buy, but
I think it's that Google one, that VO3
oh, okay, yeah.
is the one they're using. And Suno for music. I've been playing around with Suno. I have a few songs I put
Suno
out.
for music. I've never even heard of that. I'm gonna write
Yeah,
it down.
SUNO.
I am interested in the music stuff. I don't know if I could do it though, because I'm so like.
Check. You can do. It gives you like a certain amount of free songs every day, so you can play around with it with the free version and make songs. You just get more songs with the paid version.
Okay.
That's where Frank gets his cow and chicken music from.
I don't know.
And you can get real detail with it. Like I just tell it what kind of song I want. Like make a blues song about the panel verse. And it'll come up with the lyrics, the music, everything. But you can actually bring your own lyrics and tell it specific instruments. Like put a layer of drums here, and then put a trumpet. I need a keyboard riff after that. So you can get that detailed with it and build the song from instruments. And I think that's what Frank does with some of his cow music.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
How are you holding up? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I just got another cup of coffee. How are you feeling? Hey, do you know about the PIMS check-in? I want to start doing them on the channel. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And you just like check in with each one of those levels of your...
Oh, okay. You're just a way of checking in with yourself on all the different areas?
Yeah, like just a sentence or two about each one. Like how are you feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, and then spiritually?
I actually socialized yesterday, and I'm a mega introvert, and so I had so much fun, but I was like so exhausted today. I was like up, and then I had to have a sleep, and
the battery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I had a sleep, and it's funny because I was like supposed to go to dinner today, and this is like the most socializing I've done in a long time. Supposed to go to a dinner today, so I got all ready for it, and then found out it's actually tomorrow.
Oh.
So
See,
So,
so you
but
had
then I
time to
was
hang
like
out.
ready, like I psyched myself up to like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing and blah blah. But it worked out because then I was like, okay, I'm all ready for no reason whatsoever. And then I'm like, oh, Jeff's live. I can see if I get my computer going
I'm
and go
glad
say
you did
hi.
because this was you were the perfect person to show up today. This conversation was meant to happen. It was fate. The universe brought us together. See, that's that mythic mode again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. You could call it Aquarius mode.
Oh, I like that.
There you go.
What
Yeah.
how are you doing emotionally? You seem okay, but check in with your
I think
emotions. And checking in with the body is kind of a first step to checking in with emotions anyway.
I've been doing a lot of stuff for myself lately. Like I told you, I've been on that kind of healing my relationship with myself thing, and honestly, I've had a lot more joy lately than I have. Still need to work on my sleep big time because for
What's
whatever
helping you? Because
reason,
that's been coming up a lot here too. There's other people that
for
struggle with
sleep,
sleep. Yeah.
oh, I don't know. That's always been a hard one for me. I'll like if I've had a couple late nights, I'll where I'm not getting my optimum sleep when my melatonin production would be good, then I'll take melatonin for a bit to help me get tired and get the sleep I need. Um, I don't know. I just have to be on the right pattern. Like I guess there's so many steps you can do. Like don't eat late is a big one and make yourself eat in the morning because that literally sets your clock up to be ready to sleep at nighttime instead of being hungry at nighttime and then being wide awake from digesting all the food and stuff. That's a big one I've learned.
Speaking of clocks, tonight is the what is it? We jumping back night. Set y'all's clocks.
Is that no? Is that here? Is that no?
What?
Is that here too? Doing
I
my
don't know. I
phone
think isn't it
automatically
everywhere?
tells
I don't
me
know. What do y'all do in Canada? I thought it was everywhere. I
it
don't know.
is.
I'm an American chauvinist. I just think everybody's on America.
Oh, you're right.
Everything.
It is.
I don't even I don't even realize people use the metric system. I think everybody's on inches.
I just I just can't stand the time change here because it gets so dark here. Like we have in the summer we have some of the longest days. Like it'll be bright almost to 11 o'clock. Like it's amazing. But then in the winter you get like the days get so short where you only get like I don't know. I don't even know how short the shortest day is. Maybe
Like
five
Alaska
hours
short.
or something of light. So it's like dark all the time. And then you mess with the clocks and it just feels even worse. So winters are really hard here for sure.
Is this the one where we wake up earlier? We don't
uh,
get to sleep as late?
fall back, I guess. Yeah.
I think so, because if you normally wake up like at 6, it would really be 5. But your alarm clock would say 6 and wake you up.
And you know that's when they do the time changes, that's when heart attacks and all this weird stuff go up.
Oh
Like
my God, I didn't
the
know it was
rates.
killing people.
It was. Yeah, it is. It is. Like it a lot of rates of different things like that go up right around at the time change. So
Lord.
I think some people's bodies just have a hard time adjusting to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never did. I just remember as a kid, we had that like one less extra hour of sleep in the morning. That was kind of annoying, but other than that, it wasn't that burdensome. And then one of them, you got the longer days. Like it didn't even get dark till 10 o'clock at night. I love that one.
Mhm. We get really long days here in the summer, which I love. Like just lots of sunlight. But then the winters are hardcore. But keeps the bugs small, so that's what I try to keep positive about. Cold winters keep the bugs small.
Oh, keep the books. Oh, and then how are you mentally?
Mentally.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess it's more like how is your thinking, your reasoning, your thought process, maybe your philosophy, ideas, that kind of stuff. The mental
Um,
side of you, the intellectual side.
I don't know, all over the place. I
Is
have
that
a lot
normal?
of Gemini stuff in me too, which makes me kind of a little bit over the top with trying to learn and figure everything out.
Oh,
And so maybe, which has been a good thing because I'm like super knowledgeable in a lot of stuff, but I'm almost at a stage where I'm like backing off of the trying to figure things out instead of being in alignment. So I'm trying to do more the action part now. So,
like just knowing what your values are and making sure your actions are lined up with those.
okay,
You don't
you
really
might
have to
get this.
figure anything out. You just have to know what you want your actions to reflect.
Oh, you might get this because you got lots of in the third house, which is Gemini learning stuff. So, have you ever like been in something that you can't get out of or out of alignment or whatever, and it's too hard to get out of? So what you do is you research the shit out of it to try and figure out how to be okay in it, like
Or like you
how
accept
to
it and
make
you
it
start.
better, or like you like just research and learn like crazy trying to figure out, okay, well, how can I change, or what can I do, or what can I fix, or what's missing, or like you're trying to figure it out instead of accepting it
Yes.
and taking yourself out of something that's not good for you.
Yes. Oh
Okay.
God, Angeline,
Okay.
this is creepy. It's like you're inside my mind reading my thoughts the last couple of weeks.
Okay, so I've done that for a long time in certain areas, and I'm like, okay, I have to accept this for what it is and start doing something for myself that's actually healthy for me and in alignment, instead of trying to stay or trying to figure out how to make something work that just doesn't work. Like that just isn't okay. That just, do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, I've kind of like this area that I've been kind of obsessed in. I'm like, okay, I'm recognizing that I've been doing it for the wrong reasons. I need to drop it and I need to start working on moving back into alignment, because I've worked so hard to try and be in alignment with in an area that's not.
Hmm. It kind of pulled
So,
you out of your own orbit.
yeah, so just trying to, again, working on that relationship with me again, because I had messed myself up so much trying to be okay in things that weren't okay. So,
What are you doing to help restore that or reconnect that?
um, taking some time to discover myself, I guess. Um, I don't know, like taking the risk in going into things I put on the back burner for a long time. Um, like going, like, I don't know if you've heard of Zouk dancing, but it's something I've always loved or thought about for years and years and put on the back burner or didn't do it or whatever. So maybe one way of fixing that relationship with myself and not abandoning that dream is I'm going to go check out a free Zouk beginners class.
What's it called? Zook?
Zouk, yeah.
Let me look
um,
it up. Z, is it
for,
Zuke?
yeah, it's Zouk, I
Oh, Z.
think.
Okay, Zouk.
Um, Brazilian Zouk
Brazilian.
dance, but it's just Zouk. You can
Oh
just put Zouk.
wow. It
It's
looks
a
kind of like ballroomy.
it's almost, it's very intuitive, but like um it's very energetic and sensual. You have to like learn a lot of cues. I guess you have to, it's, I don't know. For me it's very intuitive. I love to dance, but it's very intuitive dance. Like I listen to my body and I let my body move me,
Mm.
or I move in the way my body feels to move, or whatever. So for me, Zouk kind of aligned with that style of dance. So that's why I've always been interested in it. Um, I'm just a very intuitive person. I think that's part of a Cancer thing. We're very intuitive. We're very feely. We feel
Because y'all are
everything.
moon, the moon sign.
Yeah, I can feel people like that. I think that's the hardest part. I think that's honestly what makes it so hard for Cancer not to help people, because I don't just see, oh, somebody's in pain. No, I'm like actually feeling their pain. Like it's so hard to not help because I can feel it in my gut. I can feel it in my body. I've never been able to watch like a lot of violence or even
Hmm.
fights, like, or whatever, because if someone's punched in the face,
You
I feel
feel it.
it.
Yeah.
Like, right? So, and I just can't stand that somebody's feeling that. And so I want to
All
like,
right. Who wants to be punched in the face? I know.
so like,
Right. I
I
have
want to
that
fix
too.
everything.
I am the cold, dead, burnt out version of that, but I have that. I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah. So, um, and that's part of me stepping back and being like, okay, what do I need? What have I ignored in myself? How am I not filling my own energy tank, or my own, how am I not stepping into things that light me up, or and how am I not stepping away from the things that like stress me or cause me anxiety or drain me? Like, so I guess that's the journey. I don't I kind of lost track of the question, but that's kind of the
Oh, it
journey, I
was
guess.
mental, but you're addressing it because it's
Yeah.
also your awareness, and this is what you're becoming aware of.
Yeah, so kind of stepping away from the trying to figure it out mentally where I'm not supposed to anymore, and stepping into being in alignment with myself and what brings me life again. So that's kind of the journey I'm on.
And then
In
the
a long
last one
way.
was spiritual.
Yeah. And I went to something yesterday. It was like this Halloween haunted house thingy that I was asked to help with. And
You got to be in the haunted house?
yeah, so it was just a lady out in the country, and there's
Oh.
not a lot of kids, but she put up signs everywhere, and they had like people come through at 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. And everybody had to come dressed as a witch, a zombie, or a pirate, I think it was. And then when a group of kids came, everybody took their positions. So there was a huge fire with a cauldron. So all the witches would run out to the fire. Zombies would hide behind these big tombstones, and then there'd be pirates jump scaring. And they had a whole bunch of really, like, it was such
You
cool
make
stuff
Santa,
we had set
Canada
up.
sound cool.
And so I was a frog. I dressed up as a frog. And I got to like warn all the kids coming down the path of the witches ahead.
What did you,
So
what did you say, like, beware of the witch ahead?
she like, be careful the witches, and I had little frogs I could hold. I
Oh,
was
did
like
you have to
holding
rib it
frogs
like,
and like,
oh.
no. It was just silly. I didn't like dressing up all dark and scary, so it was a frog.
Oh.
I just made my own thing.
I would want to be a dark and scary frog.
No, it wasn't dark and
Can
scary
you
though.
make
I
this
just,
look more like Gollum?
yeah. It was fun. My daughter had a cute frog thing, like had a big frog hood on it, and like
Oh my god. Oh.
it was fun. So,
It sounds fun.
but
Did you punch any zombies?
no, but if they
Oh.
scared me, I don't know. I don't know what I didn't want anyone to jump scare me. Someone's like, "Do you want to go through on a tour so you can?" I'm like, "No, I don't want anyone jump scaring me. I'm good. I'll wait inside." Yeah. So, but it was fun. It was cute. It was fun watching all the kids have a blast, and that was really stepping out of my introvert comfort zone, so that I had an opportunity to discover myself and discover myself in a different situation, or
As a
trying
frog.
something new, or around people, because I'm um and it made me realize how much I how that's one thing. I'm gonna go woo woo on you.
Okay,
But
we can.
that's one thing Source has really been emphasizing for me, is being around people, because I need to discover who I am around healthy people.
Oh my God.
And so trying to find healthy people in my life and surround myself with healthy community, and so that I can discover myself within that. And so that's been a big goal. So I've been taking kind of steps to step out more and discover myself around people more, and I don't know, you learn a lot about yourself, and to not be so nervous of myself because I struggle with anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that. So like yesterday I met these two other girls, and they were both introverts, and they were both ADHD, and they were both just like, we were so similar, and we just zoned out. We were playing this weird little game where you have to guess numbers, and then we were playing weird music and just like dancing around and then guessing a number, and then like dancing around and guessing a number, and we could tell we were all like just big kids being ourselves. And it felt good to be like in that and be okay to be that side of me with other people who get it and are enjoying being able to be comfortable in that side of them too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
And
exactly what you mean.
so it was amazing. And so I'm like just enjoying discovering being okay, being myself, and that I'm actually okay. I used to I would be really hard on myself, right? And I used to have this saying, wherever you go, there you are. And
Mhm.
so it used to curse me because I would think, oh, there's no point in trying to get out of anything that's bad or not good for me or negative, because wherever I go, there I am. So I'm just going to recreate it or reattract it or whatever. So I saw it as a negative thing. And one day I often go in a washroom because when I get anxiety, I'll go in a washroom to like take a breather, like, ooh, calm down, like get away from the crowd or whatever, right? I'll go hang out in the bathroom for a little bit, and then I'll come back out and re people. And so I was doing that a lot, and I was in a washroom, and I remember I like there's more to it. It was really weird. I kept seeing these pretty little things that made me smile everywhere in the weirdest places. Like there was a ribbon stuck in a bush, and then there was like this cool diamondy head thing in a garbage, and there was
Uh,
like something left on a table, and there was something on a sidewalk, and I was like, why am I seeing all these weird little crafty pretty things everywhere that I love? I'm just like, that's so pretty, and like, what the heck is it doing there? And just it was really weird. I kind of felt set up, but I realized all these little things that lit me up because I'm super artsy and crafty, right? I see pretty things and I think of all the ways I can put them together to make things and whatever. So, anyways, I'm in the washroom. I just see something in the garbage and I'm thinking, okay, that this is getting really weird. And I turn around and I look in the bathroom mirror and I hear really loud, wherever you go, there you are. And I'm thinking, okay. And but I realize that the things that light me up, the things that energize me, that make me me, what I bring wherever I go, wherever I am, there I like wherever I go, there I am, is also a good thing. And it's funny because I look I looked in the mirror now. It's funny that it happens whenever I look in the mirror now when I'm out. Whenever I'm out and I'm having stress and I need to go in the washroom, I'll look in the mirror and I'll immediately hear, wherever you go, there you are. And it almost changes my kind of spiral or pit that I can get into that makes me overwhelmed to be like, okay, no, this is actually a good thing too. It's a good thing that I'm here, that wherever I go, there I am as well. And kind of makes you take a deep breath and stand a little taller and go back out there because you remember you're also okay. Even if you're not okay, you also bring good things to the
mhm.
table. So, and whatever I am, I am. And, whoever resonates with that resonates with it, and whoever doesn't, doesn't. And I just got to be myself, right? And stop seeing it as a bad thing and that it can also be a good thing for whoever it wants to be a good thing for, right? So,
Well, I'm kind of running that too because part of being yourself and your full self is also being your shadow. So as you become your empowered self and start to be that, you also start being more of your shadow self at the same time. And so you can't just like fully be yourself because then the shadow will come out with it. And it's how to be yourself but still keep the shadow from overruling everything is what I'm struggling with.
but I think the more we focus on the positive parts of ourselves, the more that comes out.
That's my hope. That is my plan and my strategy. And I want to think it's working a little bit, but that shadow is just a hair behind, waiting to surface at the same time.
Yeah,
So it's maybe it is just emphasizing more and more of the good, and over
the
time
positive. Yeah.
it will kind of overtake and clear out the shadow and make it easier. Because that shadow, the more you're good, and people tell me this about this channel, like anytime somebody tries to do something positive on YouTube, they're going to attract all the haters that come and try to hold them back and stop them. Because for whatever reason, nobody likes to see that. It's the same with this. Like, if I'm going to try to do something good, that shadow is not going to let me go that easily. It's going to try to sabotage it every chance it gets. And it's kicking hard, hard, hard right now.
And
Because I feel like I am at a breakthrough that if I can get past it, I will get closer to that goal. And that's when the shadow's going to fight the hardest.
a question I also asked myself that you could ask yourself is, what do you like about you that you're afraid of? What do you
That I'm
like
afraid
about you?
of.
Yeah, what do you like about you that you're afraid other people won't like, or that will maybe be a danger, or maybe
Oh,
like,
that's easy because it already is a danger, and other people don't like it. That intellect, that Virgo side, and even the AI was talking to me about it. How it can be intimidating or too heavy. Like people that are not wired that way, it can come across as alienating instead of connecting. And so I think I'm sharing this valuable part of myself that I love, and really I'm pushing everybody away with it.
I don't think you're pushing away the right people. But here, so I mean, you're always going to be around people where you're going to have discernment. But if you're afraid of that part of you, often the shadow will take over. And if you're if you take that same motto, like wherever I go, there I am, is also a positive thing, you'll show up differently. And again, the people who resonate with you will. Like, again, you finding those healthy people, that healthy community where you can show up as yourself. And it
That's
is a good thing. It's a good thing
usually
for
I
the
have to
community.
create it. Like I end up not being able to find them because I always reach a point where I notice the unhealth, and so I always end up having to create it, and that's what I'm doing. But what I'm realizing is I have to accept that those scary parts are always going to be there. That I'm always going to scare myself, and I'm always going to scare other people potentially. I'm not actually scary, but the potential to be really scary is always going to be there. I just have to acknowledge it, be honest about it, and just let it be there. And the people that are can tolerate it or okay with it or at least they're aware of it. I was transparent. If things get scary, we can either work through it or they can back up if they need to. That's fine. But I don't think you overcome that. I think it's along for the ride with the rest of you. And I just have to like accept it, like just put it out there up front and just acknowledge it and incorporate it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm learning about the shadow. It's not overcoming it, it's how to come to terms with it.
And
Because it's not like you can leave it behind. It's wherever you're growing, it's going to have to grow there too.
also, what you call a shadow or negative, there is an exercise you can do where you talk to it and you ask it, why it's there, what is it protecting you from? Because almost always a shadow or something that shows up negative is there because it's trying to protect us from something.
It's trying to
And
protect itself because it's ego. It comes from the ego. It's the shadow of the ego.
but to integrate it, you have to ask, what are you trying to protect me from? And what do you need to feel safe so that you don't have to show up like that anymore? And then that's where you get the answer on what you need to work on.
It doesn't. It's for the pure joy of just being that way. There's no reason. It's always gonna just be that way. It's instinct. It's impulse. It's the like humans, because we're animals. We have this aggression we carry towards other people just naturally. Like, are they a threat?
Uh,
Do I want to attack them? Do I want to dominate, take the territory, all that stuff? It's that animal aggression that gets directed outward at other animals.
yeah, there's some parts that are like that, but there's also parts that are just programming that are like everybody growing up learned certain habits that kept them safe or kept them um that helped them get what they needed, whether it was healthy or not, right? And it became a part of us. And
Hmm.
so we learn to go through life that, oh, this is what I do to be accepted. This is what I do to be safe. This is what I do to get what I need, whether it's right or wrong or healthy or not, right? We get these programs. So often people call some of those things their shadow or their inner child or whatever, their wound,
Uh-huh.
whatever you call it, right? So, but the thing is, those things will sabotage us if we don't become conscious of them and find out where it came from, why it's doing it, and what did it need back then that it didn't have that caused it to act out in that way.
To me, it just came from being human because it's the toddler in us that just wants what it wants, and then it pitches a fit when it doesn't get it. And that's just something that human, like all human babies are like that. So it's not a particular thing I can trace to something about me. I just trace it to being a monkey, to being a primate. And that's how these animals are wired. We're mammals. And for whatever reason, that's how we show up as little monkey babies. But that part of us never goes away, so we always have that toddler brain that is banging on our high chair, demanding that the world give us whatever we want in the moment.
I guess. But I mean, brains are malleable and they can be rewired. So I
Some
don't.
part, yes, but there's that little basal part that is just always there, being what it is. But
Let.
the neuroplastic area in the neo frontal cortex and stuff we can play around with. And that's the
Yeah.
part that's supposed to kind of override and direct and manage that limbic lizard part anyway.
I'll kind of go into an example maybe of like one that I learned in my journey. Like for me, because I grew up in a very chaotic and unsafe environment, I learned how to be very careful and like learned how do I act very careful or set up my environment very careful to try and keep these people from exploding or right. So what happened is when I grew up, my way of staying safe was how do I make sure everybody's okay all the time? Like how do I it became my autopilot, but it wound up sabotaging me. And that could look like anything. Maybe someone was like, I learned that when I scream and throw an absolute fit, my mom gave me my way. And now I'm an adult. And so I have this temper and I do this thing to get my own way. But now these things are sabotaging us,
Hmm.
right? So, and they're hurting us. So it's
Hmm.
like a lot of guys grew up like, you don't show emotion. Or they're like, I'm valued by my mom's to-do list that I get done, right? Like that's I was loved when I did all the chores I was supposed to do and otherwise I didn't exist. Like so To get love, I do all the things. Do,
So we're playing
right?
out those childhood
Yes.
methods we developed to get what we needed at the time.
Yes.
And when we
So,
need it now, that's what we default to if we haven't replaced it with anything more
exactly.
sophisticated.
So we can become conscious of that and we can ask that part of us, what did you need at that time that you didn't get? Maybe you needed to be heard. Maybe you needed to be loved without doing everything perfect to be loved. Maybe you needed to speak up and be allowed to have emotions. Maybe, like, whatever it is you needed,
No,
you
I
ask
just
that
needed
part.
people to give me what I wanted and do what I needed them to do. I just needed them
Yes.
to listen to me and give
So,
me what I wanted. That's it.
I mean, in the end, I think that was everybody's goal in trying to get what they wanted, what they needed, right? But I'm just saying as an example, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be you. I'm just saying in general, like, this was my journey that um we can look at that and we can ask that part of us. Like, I can ask that part of me, why I did it and what did I need at that time that I wasn't getting that made me do that to get it.
That is a
So
good question of what did we need as kids? Like what is it that we thought we needed as kids?
that made us do this thing to get it, right? Because we weren't getting it. And
Yeah,
so
whatever the
when
it
we
was.
when we discover that part, when we uncover what it is we needed, I needed to be heard. I needed to be loved without having to do things in order, like without having to do a chore list to be loved. I needed to whatever it was. So once we find that part, then we have to go, okay, how do I give that to myself?
Yeah.
How do I find a space where I become conscious of being able to do that or learn to be okay with that or teach myself that I'm safe speaking up, that I'm safe not doing a to-do list, that I'm safe finding out if I'm okay without whatever I did to try and get these things, right? And and I think in a way that could be part of the shadow work, like that's part of the work of discovering ourselves, like me stepping back right now from trying to make sure everybody else is okay is part of me discovering myself outside of doing that because,
Hmm.
right? Because of the fears or whatever.
And that's
So,
probably going to be like an ongoing
oh, definitely,
process.
definitely. So, yeah, and in a way, it's all our journey to authenticity and trying to figure out how do we be okay being ourselves? How do we be loved without all this stuff? Like,
Yeah, or needing to do anything to have it.
and creating these relationships where it's like, I have to do this to be loved, and you have to do this for me to love you. And then it's like this weird little war thing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of actually falling in someone authentically for who they are, right? Instead of a checklist of what we were programmed to believe it should be or look like. We get to actually enjoy each other. I mean, you always have to keep some logical side on, does this work logically too? But to really find places where you're accepted for you and to trust that you do have gifts that fit in and benefit people without it having to be a performance that we learned, right?
Yeah.
Like me being a big silly kid might irritate the crap out of somebody and tell them want like somebody might give me a dirty look or want to shut me down or make a comment about my corny rainbow outfit or like whatever,
Oh my!
like
I just know. I didn't even notice it was rainbow. Oh my god, that's so cool.
some people might want to shut you down and then some people it will light them up
Yeah,
and
and
you
I
just have
mean
to
they could
find your
be
people.
like squashing your career as a professional clown and not even know it.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Yeah, or a YouTube persona. Same thing. The ones that make money anyway.
Yeah, so Yeah.
That was very powerful. You have given me a lot. Okay, I'm going to give you this. You are better than the AI. Talking with you, I think I've gotten a lot more. And I get a lot out of my little dialogues with the AI. They help me organize my thoughts and kind of see things in ways I might not have thought of. But this human conversation and the stuff we talked about, I got way more out of. So I think the AI has its role, it has its place, but it's not a substitute for this. This is what I'm going for.
Yeah, for good conversation where we can reflect and bounce off each other from
And
our
get to know each other.
own
Like,
life
I don't need to
experience.
get to know the AI. There's nothing to get to know. With you, I get to know another person and I get to
Yeah.
connect with a human.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is why eventually us overthinkers, overlearners need to step out and actually
I know.
discover it in the living of it as well.
That's kind of a theme in this whole YouTube universe too, of dreaming instead of doing, or being in the head instead of the real world. But that
Yeah.
I think that is kind of my challenge, not right now, among other things, over the next few months or maybe years, is moving from the head to the heart, or incorporating the, like, I don't necessarily have to leave the head. I don't think I'm ever going to completely leave it, but bringing in this, or learning how to move into here and coming out of here instead of just all the time up here.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Paying attention to our bodies and
That's a big one.
whatnot, but like as a Cancer, feeling everything is. I guess I have a good mix because I'm a big feeler. I feel everything, but I'm also super intellectual. So for me, it's like I feel something, but then I have to make it make sense. Like it has to make sense in my head, in my brain. Like I have to be able to wrap my brain around
I'm
it.
the same
So
way, but is it sense of why you're feeling that way, or is it sense in, like, trying to find meaning for the feeling, like a context to make the feeling have a meaning somehow?
for
Because I
me,
kind of
like
do both, but it's different approaches for each one. Maybe that's the Virgo thing.
for me, I have a knowing in I don't know how to describe like I have a knowing, like I feel a knowing about something. And so then I have to go and find it, I guess. And it's like, have you ever been in something where you know something's wrong, but you can't put your finger on it, so then you got to figure it out?
And I'm always right. I get these
Yeah.
flashes, like these instant flashes. They're so fast the mind can't even process them completely. And every time I ignore that or go against that, I always turn out to be right. That flash
Yeah.
turned out to be completely accurate about how reality was going to turn out, and I should have listened to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
even fully understand it myself when it happened. It's not. It doesn't come with full clarity at the time. I just know I have this general sense of this thing I need to pay attention to and worry about.
But you don't have the words for it yet. And
Yes,
that and
yes.
that's
The
for the
verbal part of the
Gemini
brain.
part kicks
Yep.
in and you go learn crazy. Like you're like,
Yes.
I'm not done until this makes sense to me.
Yes. Oh
So
my God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get it. Yeah. I'm like that too. So it often starts with a feeling and then things don't make sense, something's not right, and or I have a knowing about something and I gotta like hash that out till my brain has the
It will,
words
and it
for it.
will dominate my brain. I can have five or six different tracks going at the same time, but when that happens, it will dominate, and all those other little tracks will take a back seat, and my brain will just fixate on that until it is solved.
And but then you become really good teacher because with all the Gemini in your chart, you you're good at communicating. So you take those things, you learn them, and then you become really good at being able to share that with other people to help them as well. So
That's what I'm trying to do here, and the AI is helping, and people like you for sure. Do you Oh shit, I lost it. Hang on, this was important.
make a fist.
Make a fist?
I don't know. That's supposed to help you remember
Oh,
something.
maybe it will, because we were talking about. Give me a little bit about what you were saying that might bring it back.
That I was just saying, when you have that feeling or whatever, then you have to find the words to what you already know.
Oh, the learning thing and the I guess I lost it. It was something to do with
Uh,
that, like how you lock into that learning and getting the verbal part down to make sense of what the rest of you is feeding you.
and then
The
you can teach
body,
it
the
to other
intuition.
people. It's like you help other people find. It's like you express the words that other people have been trying to find. They're like, yes, we knew that
Yes.
too. That's
C-
what we've known, and we didn't have the words for, and we
Emerson
got the
even says
words.
that in Self-Reliance. He's like, speak your own private truth because when you do, you're going to find out that it wasn't private, that the everybody else was speaking the same truth, and when they hear it from you, they're going to realize that it's okay to say it themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I've been told that before by mentors, like, don't be afraid to speak up or raise your criticism or your concern because what you think like you're the only one noticing or having a problem with, when you start to say it, other people are going to come forward and say, yes, we were seeing the same thing. We were noticing the same thing. So you open that door up for other people to share their voice of the same experience.
But you have a gift, and I have a gift, the Gemini stuff, of being able to find words for things. So this is an advantage because when, say you have a know, like you know how you get a knowing about something or you know something's wrong, but you don't have the words for it yet. That's when you go into the research mode. So
Yeah.
there's a
Which
lot of
lately has
people,
been talking to the AI.
yeah, so a lot of people have a feeling, have a knowing something's wrong, but they never get to the words they need to
So
help
they
them
just sit with that
articulate it.
feeling and it
Yes.
and the confusion, because
And then,
I get a lot of that confusion. That's why I do it. That emotion of confusion is so unpleasant. It's one of the most unpleasant emotions I can feel. That I have to get that learning and solve it to make that confusion go away. I need to have
yeah.
that understanding that dispels the confusion. And until I get that, I almost can't function.
So this is your gift because you find the way to articulate it into words that you can explain that makes sense to you. So
Yeah.
what happens is when you express that, people will resonate because you just found the words that they couldn't find for what they already knew. And that's what makes them resonate.
All
Does that
seven
make
of them.
sense? Does that make sense? Like
I think
you
so.
start
Yeah.
speaking something and they're like, this is what I've been knowing inside and feeling, whatever, but I didn't have
Mhm.
the words for. Thank you for the words. Right?
It
That's,
does make sense because that's some of what we do as peer supporters, and when peers get together, that happens when we start talking about our experiences and stuff. We have kind of that mutual, sudden shared understanding when we're hearing it in somebody else's words.
yeah, that's what resonance is. That's when you're hearing something and you know
Okay,
it's
resonance. We're going
true.
to add that word. We got steadfast and we got resonance because that's that one of those layers, that human layer, that democratic layer, that fourth layer that I went over earlier, that layer of human connection. That's where this is coming from. Angeline is very powerful at that level.
Uh, yeah, resonance, like, and that's what we search for when we're trying to understand something is resonance. And when you're trying to learn and find the words for something or articulate something, you know it when you hear what resonates for you and puts the puzzle pieces together for
Yeah.
you. And
And
then you
that's
have
happening right
the
that's
words.
happening tonight with you.
Oh, that's good. Yay.
In fact,
Yeah.
that okay, that's what I was going to say from earlier. I just remembered it. This is an example. We learned about the speed thing and jumping in too fast. Like bonding too quickly with strangers because you feel like you have this shared world and experience. And I'm experiencing that with Angeline tonight. But the thing I think that keeps it healthy and keeps it from being one of those like jumping in too quick bonds is we've taken the time to kind of build up to this point and get to know each other gradually over the stream. So even though it's the same feeling and it's like the warning flag of this is too quick, you're feeling too identified with this person. I think because of our background and the time we took, that this is a healthy version of being able to do something like that. So I just wanted to point that out because we're starting to watch for these things on the stream now. So,
Just hold on a sec. I got someone knocking at my door.
oh yeah, no, go ahead. Is it a trick or treater? If they're in a costume, tell them to come on the stream. All right, I'm probably going to end up wrap it up soon anyway, unless anybody else wants to come up and join in or have something to say. I think this happens every time with this channel. I want to point this out. I want to give my own self some credit and the rest of you. Every single time this channel has gone through a transition, we've lost a co-host, we've changed content, regulars have left, whatever, and the channel's kind of like afloat and in a new direction. Every single time, almost right away, people step in and fill that void, and the channel starts becoming a, whatever it's supposed to become at that moment again. It's kind of a living organism that regenerates every single time it needs to. I've seen it happen over and over and over. And that is one of the strengths of this community, is that they are able to do that. And it just happens. It's like not even any one person doing it. It just happens on its own as part of the community, and that's health.
I love your dream, Jeff. And you keep holding space for it, and you know, and
I
that's
am.
yeah.
I am. I like what's coming out of it. That's motivating me to do it even more.
Well,
And
this is
you're part. You're. This is a perfect example. So thank you.
we and again we resonate, and I think we have similar dreams
Yeah.
about community stuff. So and just helping people and whatnot. So or educating and stuff. So uh, I love coming on here. This is the only place I come. I don't watch anything on YouTube anymore, to be honest.
Oh.
So I'm out of the loop. And then every once in a while, I'll pop on your show and then see what's going on. But I think I've been out of alignment for a long time lately. And it's kind of gotten like, the longer you stay out of alignment, the more friction, the more it's like butting heads and blah, blah, blah. And I think I got to that point for a while. So I
Well, it
haven't
disconnects you
shown
with
up.
yourself too.
Yeah, I haven't been able to show up well, and so I'm getting back there, and hopefully I'll this will feel more flowing for me as well to come out more and talk more and stuff. So
I hope so too. I'm trying to make the space for that. So
you're doing an
thank you.
awesome job.
Thank you for using it.
Thanks for holding it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I guess is there anything you want to leave us with or end on?
Um, no, I guess I just hope for everyone to gain better and better relationships with themselves. That's what I'll leave with tonight, I guess.
Okay. Well, I think you're in the right place, and thank you.
Yay. All right. Well, you have an awesome night. I'm gonna
You as
go eat
well,
some
and
grub.
we'll see you again, I hope.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care, Angeline. Yeah, it really was. And I guess one more before you go, there's
Oh,
one more thing. Because I'm here to be of service, what do you need? Is there anything we can do to help, to to be of service in your journey?
I don't know what that could even look like, to be
But
honest.
if it comes up, the door's always open. You know how to contact. Just let me know. I'm always here. I'm
Okay.
here to serve. So if you have a way we can be of help, just let me know.
I think just you holding the space so that when
Okay.
I'm feeling like I'm resonating with the conversation or need a place to express, this has been really
Okay.
awesome. So thank you for holding this space.
Well, thank you for being a part of it.
All right, you have a good night.
You too. Take care. This see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? When you get rid of that, you make a space for stuff like this. It happens. All according to plan. I was also thinking about that confusion we were talking about, where like you have to solve it and make it go. It's like you're getting different information from different inputs, and it causes this confusion inside. So your head starts to tell you one thing, your body starts to tell you a different thing, your heart starts to tell you another thing, and normally all of the inputs are saying more or less the same thing, and you have that consonance, that integrity with yourself. But when the inputs start saying different things, and I have that Virgo analysis, so I'm always getting all kind of stuff from that input. That's when the confusion starts, because it starts clashing with the other inputs, and I have to figure out, I have to reconcile it. And until I do, I'm left with that horrible, awful emotion of confusion and frustration and all kind of other ugly things that get attached to it. So just wanted to share that too. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I may be out again later. Who knows? The topics are flowing. The piss music is flowing. Speaking of, we have a latest breaking. I'm going to play this, do a little intermission, come back, and wrap up. This is another one from our piss music champion. This guy is a monster, a beast. Frank. Just Frank. Nothing else. Don't overdo it. Just Frank. Frozen Toe Riot. I can't wait for this one. All right, and I'll be back.
Полуночный уличный фонарь, дыхание словно проклятие. Зашнуруй ботинки, чувствуй, как холод усиливается.
So wrong, so wrong. I'll be back.
Ветер кусает, как ржавчина. Карманы полны монет, а сердце полно доверия. Бетонная река, следы в ряд, каждый шаг история. А мои пальцы ног медлительны. Кофе из угловой лавки, дымящийся из банки. Смейся над холодом, он не победит. Замерзшие пальцы ног. Ошибка, не кланяйся. Снежинки, как пули, но нас не запугать. Скамейка на автобусной остановке, железо, замерзший трон. Споем кривой гимн теплу, которое у нас будет. Два шага вперед, один подталкивает судьба. Мы продолжаем жить. Пальцы ног, топчи их, не показывай, уходи. Стряхни, скажи холоду уйти. Эй, мы движемся, мы никогда не замерзали. Поднимите руки, топчи ночь. Замерзшие пальцы ног.
Ay, ay, ay. What did I do? breaking
Руки
of the
в
mold.
карманах, дым в горле, город тихо гудит. Все радиаторы сломаны.
I don't know. He
Мы
kind of has a
обмениваем свои
little bit of a
истории
sexy
на
daddy energy to him.
тепло. Смени сигарету на
Maybe if
сказку. Вот все,
I
что
turn
мы
my mind just right.
знаем. Холод
Maybe I
учитель, он учит стоять. Укуси синеву, и ты научишься
I'll give it. He sounds pumped. This is good market.
Стоп, шлюха!
Worked up
Выплюнь
about
серость, мы будем танцевать на льду до рассвета. Кричи
Passion.
громко, растопим мрак.
AI
Мы
passion.
зимняя толпа, замерзшими пальцами ног. И бум!
I want to
Замерзшие
give him a hug.
пальцы
And
ног.
just tell him it's good.
Топчи их, не показывай, уйди. Отряхнись.
Man, this is one of the most passionate songs I've ever heard. And it's not even a
Эй, эй, мы двигаемся, мы никогда не замерзали. Поднимите руки, топайте по ночи. Замерзшие пальцы
We're gonna
ног.
start to see ourselves.
Последний топ, последний смех в снегу. Мы живы,
It doesn't
мы
have that same
громкие,
piss vibe.
с нашими замерзшими пальцами ног.
Oh, poor thing. I hope he let us know how it turns out, Frank. Oh. Well, yeah, because like, why would anybody? We speak in English. All the content's in English. I'm not gonna suddenly start doing a stream in Russian. Why would anybody non-English even bother with this channel? I don't watch channels in other languages. Congratulations. Do a little, hey, let's lift all the boats. Why don't you put a little thing on your channel to sub to mine? You could do an affiliated channel thing. Angeline, thank you. That was really good. This was a model episode. This is what I'm going for. So thank you. I even got health and healing out of it. I got so many things to think about and work on, and they got clarified. That's the value of these conversations. And I don't think the AI is going to replace that anytime soon. And who would want to? Like, would you rather talk to Angeline or an AI? Shut up, Frank. All right. Well, good. All right. I'm gonna wrap up. I may be out later. I may be out tomorrow. I may be out at 2 in the morning. Who knows? We're on panel time all over again. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Angeline. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Moose. Thank you, Notlaws. Thank you, everybody else that was here. I like a community where you can call it by name. African, Helena. Everyone else. Ricardo was here earlier. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I saw Zat pop in and say hi. Speaking of, let me see if I can raid you somewhere. Nope, nobody's really streaming right now. All right, well, you're on your own. Have a good Saturday night, and I'll see you when I see you.